She don't know nothing about no Parliament.
Yeah, he's there. He's coming right. You should see
What
him
you
now.
know about Parliament?
I know good about.
You know Parliament?
Have you seen? It's an old show. Girl,
You see him?
the Get Down.
It sounds familiar, but not.
That joint with Will Smith's son.
Yes,
Yeah, it was tight.
that was a good one.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm thinking about rewatching that.
This was a TV show?
He's
It was
coming back
very
there.
artistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's about
But it repped the culture
coming.
well.
It was what group that
You don't
was?
see him? He's right there.
Let me see. That was a long time. I saw it when it first came
He's
out.
kind of.
I haven't rewatched it.
If you're,
The Get Down, American drama series.
It's so good. About
It
the
is
South.
good.
It's,
It was
takes
well
place
done.
in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's like one of the first rap groups. I can't think of the
Like
name.
Cold Crush Brothers or
South Bronx.
Fad Five.
Fab Five.
Fad Five.
Okay.
Got him?
South Bronx. South Bronx.
all right.
You saw Wild Style before, right?
Yeah.
I got that on DVD.
Oh, word.
Yeah, Crush Groove, Beat Street. I got all that. I got the records also.
See, I want to get in a vinyl.
All right.
They got somebody playing Grandmaster Flash on this cover?
Like, it's a good show now. The show's good.
It's matter of fact, they reenacted that scene where Flash was in the kitchen. With
Oh, with the
church.
yeah.
Yeah, and
It's a good ass show.
in Wild Style with Blondie. Yeah,
Good show.
yeah, it's dope.
You kind of saw a little setup. If you can notice, we got some new features popping off here. I don't know, just messing with my stuff. It's your boy John English, Cliqu'd podcast is in the building. Finally, couple week hiatus. We got some dope people in the room. Gonna have a dope conversation.
Yeah, me too.
First of all, a lady named Bree is in the building.
Did you call her a nigga named Bree?
I didn't know such thing.
That is a lady.
A nigga named Chris is in the corner. And Doc Ock is in the building, yo.
Doc.
The dog.
My man.
Turn that down. That shit is loud as fuck.
Yeah, it was supposed to be that. My audience is a robust audience,
For
so you
sure,
will.
but they got the,
Y'all gotta chill sometimes.
this shit is
Man,
like,
they've been waiting for this for too long, man. Nah, man,
like
I don't
headphones.
appreciate that, man. Don't be doing that to my audience.
Take it
yo.
down like 20%.
I don't know if I want to do all that.
You like screaming in my ear right now.
Oh, my volume?
Am I bugging?
Oh, okay.
Anybody
Now I got
else?
y'all headphones turned up a little bit. Let me turn y'all down a little bit. That better?
Turn it up.
There you go.
Turn my headphones up.
Turn my head-
Turn my headphones up.
I need to hear myself.
Yo. So I started this one. I want to start. It's been a week, but it's Valentine. It was Valentine's Day, and how does everybody feel about Valentine's Day? Like I want to know, like, where's everybody with the Hallmark holiday thing? I want to start with a lady named Bria, you know, because she keeps her hoes in different area codes.
Oh my God.
Last time I checked.
No comment. But yes, I'm just joking. But yes, no, just joking. It's all capitalism, just all money, just everyone competing, and women. Look what this guy did for this famous celebrity who he didn't really do it for himself. He just paid someone to do it. So now I'm about to get on my man and wonder why he didn't do for me what Lil Baby just did for this woman type shit. It's stupid. Because if we together, we probably do this shit every week.
That's how it should be, right?
Right. So now it's just, yeah. It's just all commercial now. Everything for social media. Who's better? Whose relationship looks better? My opinion. Sorry.
What about you, big dog? You know what I'm saying? How you feel about it?
It's a beautiful thing, I guess. You know, for people who appreciate that type of thing. Beyond what Bria just spoke on, the capitalism part of it, how they, try to monetize everything. And, I'm pretty sure a lot of roses sold that day. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, for
All
sure.
that type of shit. You go to any store, they got a whole section of shit, hollowed out for all the Valentine's goodies for the kids to take to school for, you know what I mean? For the
Sound like indoctrination. Like, get ready to get these little sweethearts. They go cut it in a couple years.
That's right.
She ain't gonna want no teddy bear and
But get ready, you know what I mean? But yeah, but it's a beautiful thing, I guess, you know, for people who would appreciate it for something like, well, I guess what it was intended for, perhaps, like, you know, a day to celebrate love or whatever. See, my Valentine's Day, what I did, it was my son's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's the slickest get out of jail free card ever. Like, baby, we don't never do nothing. It's my son's birthday. What I'm supposed to do, man?
And you better tell your son he ain't about to do shit on his birthday.
When I was married to his mother, we used to make a thing of it. I'll do something for her and for him, right?
Okay.
I'm not married anymore, but anyway, what I did was take him and his brother and his sister for a trip, and we chilled, and it was good. It was nice. It wasn't about Valentine's Day. It was about his birthday that happened to be on Valentine's Day.
Right.
But I saw a lot of people out kind of enjoying the festivities, so to say, Valentine's, you know what I mean?
But you also a DJ, like, so it's like you be, you know what I'm saying, you ain't get requested to, you know, spend something on the holiday, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I did, but again, my son's birthday and that trip trumped that.
okay.
I already planned for that, and I was like, I regret I'm gonna have to decline the opportunity because I got a previous engagement, so I did that instead. You know, I did DJ something the Thursday before though,
Right.
and I played Outkast joint. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
Every day is the 14th. I love that shit. You listen to the words again. You know how 3,000 get.
Right.
You listen to the words. Yeah, and it alludes to what Bria was speaking on earlier, the capitalism part of it. You know what I mean?
So do you think that ruins, like, do you think that ruins what the holiday could be? Is when capitalism, when marketing turns it into an expectation, like she was saying, like, I'm on the internet and I'm watching what other people getting, and now that puts an expectation of you to perform to a monetized level. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. I guess that is determined by the relationship you have with your mate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Level of understanding y'all got between y'all. Because if it's that superficial and surface level, I'm not rocking with that. You know how I get down.
Right.
That's not something I'm going to be involved in too long if it's like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, for the general masses, I would say, yeah, just like so many things, when it gets monetized and industrialized, it loses a lot of its true essence and meaning. It's now very surface level and very like for show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think people are where we are now. Like, we talk about like integrity, how integrity is not popular anymore. Like, it's not popular to
so
have.
sad to say, but it's true.
Right, like having your character. Is long right now. Everything is so microwave. I say we live in like a microwave society. Everybody wants something quick.
Instant gratitude.
Yeah.
Instant
So
gratification.
even in relationships, it don't matter if this shit is good as long as what we present looks good. As long as these pictures on point and we pose and we look like we got money and it look like it don't even matter what it is at home. I feel.
But that's when people place their idea of who they are. They base that on what people think about them and say about them, which is very shallow, right?
Right. And I was just having this conversation with someone about there was a fine line between I don't care what people think about me, but I care about how it looks in a sense.
That's right.
Like,
how you present yourself.
Right. Like, there was a time, like, us as a people, we cared about. It's not so because like right now everyone's like, I don't care what people think, but how we say shame needs to make a comeback. You know, I don't care what people think, but you should care how it makes you look.
How you portray yourself.
How you portray yourself. Definitely. So that's a fine line, and people are kind of flirting with that line, in a sense.
Because they want to justify some bullshit.
Right. A simple way to put it. Yeah. What about you, Jive Turkey? What you think?
I'm poor, so
Poor is a mind state.
No, it's
You
not. It's an
are
economic
broke.
condition.
No. You are broke.
Poor. We can play with words all day.
You are
I ain't
broke.
got it. That's what I'm trying to say. I ain't got it, so
I
you
ain't
can't
poor
get it.
by no
Ain't that
means.
what the great poet laureate DMX said? So just leave it at that, cause I ain't with it. So that's one of your your countrymen,
Mhm.
Chris.
Huh? I know what you're talking about. I'm hearing the conversation. I'm just, huh? You talking about DMX?
Yeah,
Great brother.
yeah. I said he had a line where he said, "I ain't got it, so you can't get it."
Smooth. Like that, man.
He
I'll be
said,
honest, I don't know where that line come from.
I ain't got it, so you can't get it. Just leave it at that, cause I ain't with it. Hit it with full strength. I'm a jail nigga, so I fix the world like it's Earl and.
What's the song? So I can listen to it later. That's not hitting my brain.
Stop.
Shit.
No.
Brain about to fry trying to pull that one.
This brother's about to die trying to
Doing
get this.
work, but it's all for the kids.
I can't tell you, I don't know.
Yeah. This
But they don't know who they say.
is a deep cut right
First,
here.
we're gonna stop.
Then we gonna
Drop.
rock.
Then we let it drop. Go. Let it. X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you.
Gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. First, then we're gonna.
Roll.
Then we let it
up.
go. Let it go. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to
I'll
you.
say so.
X
I
dropped
ain't-
a lot of gems, though.
Yeah.
He was a real dude.
One of my favorite lines from him will always be, what was it? I say this line so often too, because it's just, if I gotta play, I'ma play till I win, and since I gotta be here, can't wait to begin. I love that line, man.
That's fire. I like that.
If I gotta play, I'ma play till I win. And since I gotta be here, I can't wait to begin. That's like a mind state. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Like I'm ready for whatever.
Yeah, it's like if I gotta be here, man, I'm here now. I'm all the way in here.
So I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm all in. Now you got a problem.
That's right.
Cause now I'm not doing it reluctantly. Now I'm in it like I wanna be here.
That's right.
And now
And I'm gonna get what I came.
and I'm gonna get what you said was here. And I'm leaving with it.
That's right.
Come on, man.
Hell yeah.
X was a beast, man.
X was a beast.
X, and he said it.
Word.
Yo, he said it. Only nigga barking on the mic, and niggas didn't call.
I love them in Belly, man.
Oh
The
yeah.
role he personified that role.
You know what was crazy? You know when he sat at the table, a watch dude, pop dude, it just sat there. It just sat there. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
dude, pop dude, that just got up and walked off. And he sat there, and waited. Like, well, I guess.
And the narration in the background was like he probably was just tired of the bullshit.
Yeah, he said he could have stopped that, but he did it. Like, yo, that was crazy.
That whole project was dope, Belly.
Yeah, that Belly was dope.
Mhm.
Belly was a dope
The
movie.
contrast you would see between like DMX and his woman, it was cold and blue and dark when they were being intimate, right? And then they would flash to Nas and T-Boz,
Right.
and theirs was vibrant and warm. You know what I mean? It was intentional, but the
Right.
contrast was perfect.
Why would you unblur my camera? I kind of liked it the way it was.
Lucky for you, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Oh my word! Y'all out there in
Truth come
podcast
out.
land
Truth
couldn't
come
hear what
out.
he said. Brother said he don't give a fuck what I think. Insult to me. That's not the first insult. I won't bring up the other one. But
Lion fuck.
Yeah, I'm back.
I thought you
Yeah,
were talking about Palestine. What's Palestine?
Palestine.
No, like like is it what Guy Valentine?
Oh, Palentines, Galentines. Like, so there's another thing going on in the system. Oh, my thing lost me. Hold on. My thing lost me. There we go. So there's this thing, you know, like when people be like for like, let's just say like you in friend zone land and you want to do something for the chick you like, and she ain't got nothing else going on. y'all do Palentines. It's wild. And so what that is like you're doing all the Valentine stuff for none of like the happy ending stuff. So
That's dope though. I like that.
yeah, no, you don't.
Yes.
So
rewind. That is dope.
why is it dope? Why
I
is it
treat
dope?
all these holidays the same. 4th of July, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving. Like, I don't give a fuck about them. But it's a good excuse to go get together and eat. It's a good excuse to go outside for the barbecue. It's a good excuse if you're in a relationship to go do something romantic, right? Because maybe you might have the day off or you got the time, and it's just there's romantic things happening that wouldn't be happening otherwise. So it's a good excuse to do those things.
The themes are set up.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The world is set up right now at this point. Everybody got the day off. Food is cheap. You know what I'm saying? You can go get a turkey. You can't get a turkey all times of the year, but you can go get a turkey for whatever turkey.
That's what I was talking about, though. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like it's a beautiful thing because people are thinking about that right
Yeah.
now.
But then everybody don't have the same. Everybody don't have a family to get together with on Thanksgiving, so they do Friendsgiving. They get their friends together and they have a big fucking
That's
meal.
right. That's right.
Everybody don't got a partner on. I spent Valentine's Day with you and her at the people restaurant.
It was fun.
A great fucking time. We had a Palentine.
Yeah, but
You don't want to talk it like that, but that's what we had.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing.
we had like a
You was fucked up too.
Yeah,
so
you was too. What you mean? You was fucked up. Y'all was fucked up.
I was.
You was not all right.
Because
I
he
was
took
there.
shots before we got there.
And the two you took fucked you down. You was not doing good.
It did.
Yeah.
fucked you down is madness, bro.
I was trying to
I was thinking in my head. I ain't said. I was thinking in my head though.
I slipped up. I wanted to say put you down, and I wanted to say fuck you up. I combined them. I made some new shit. Y'all not just gonna let me live.
Nah.
Y'all just let me live. Let me live one time, brother. You know what I'm saying? Can I breathe?
I don't know, bro. If you get fucked down, I don't know if there's a lot of breathing down there.
Can't,
It's
like,
rough out here. These means.
be like, I don't know. Can you?
Oh shit!
Please inform us. I ain't never been fucked down. That was the space I've never occupied myself. God damn.
You living life wrong. What you want me to say?
So yeah, no, like so. Back to what I was saying, like so, Palentine's is like when you trying to convince the chick that you want to be with through this day. Like this is the all out effort. This is like Blitzkrieg. This is like, you know what I'm saying? This is like, the Eastern Front. Like this is when you pull out all the stops and do all of the things. This is the maybeest mission of all the maybe missions.
If you gotta try to convince somebody and that they need to be with you, you don't need to be with that person, dog. That's just a bad time waiting to happen for everybody.
But we all
Move
know.
on.
But that's the
Move
shoulda
on.
part, right? That's the shoulda. Like that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But we know it does.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about what's happening. I'm not
For
talking
sure.
about
You
the
right.
idealistic.
You right.
What
You right.
you know
It
what I
is
mean?
happening. We know it's happening.
Palentine's is when this does happen.
Okay.
And these ladies
Well,
don't
let
have
me-
nothing popping off. You know what I'm saying?
Let me give y'all some advice out there in podcast land. Don't do that. Don't do none of that. Everything that he just described, don't do that. Don't be that person on either side. Don't be the man begging. Don't be the woman begging. And don't be the person entertaining the beggar. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't be involved. Why are you looking at me like that? That's not listening. That you have a comment you want to say.
No, I do.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Because I've never had a Galentine. I don't have fucking friends to have a Galentine.
And the Galentine's part is when a whole bunch of chicks who ain't got nobody to fuck with them get together and say, fuck it. Like, we gonna just celebrate with ourselves.
And
It's like when girls take their best friend to prom because what no nigga fucking with them. Like that. Same energy. And then it's really like a protest to not being picked. It's like, fuck these niggas. I didn't want a nigga anyway.
That's right. We don't need y'all.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
is that just a reflection? I don't know. I could be a wet blanket, so don't play attention.
Do it.
I just kill them.
Throw that blanket on it.
Yeah, throw it on there.
I mean, but is that just? I think that people are just afraid to be alone. People are afraid to sit in the house. People are afraid to sit with themselves.
Alone sucks.
Because alone is loud. Silence is
On
loud
days
as
like
hell.
that, it's louder, right?
And it's even louder.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like we find any reason to party. Like it don't matter. Like we have hurricane parties. We have
True that.
like you just want a reason to party. And I'm just a wet blanket because I don't see the. I don't like alcohol, so I don't be seeing the fun of just getting fucked up, shaking your ass with the same people you served. I could just be tripping, but
For some people, it's a thing.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
an
like if it
escape
is,
from reality.
Shout
for some,
out.
I think.
shout out.
You know what I mean? But yeah, for those of us that are not into escaping reality, rather would rather deal with reality.
I like how you
then
put
yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Like I don't, my man though. I kind of keep to myself on that style. Like I can't rock with everybody because
Mm-mm.
people be on some
Mhm.
low vibrational.
What is like? So what
Self-service.
is so what is low vibrational for it? Then what do you mean?
Generally speaking, just reacting off instinct, doing shit because everybody else is doing it. Just getting dumb drunk and doing dumb shit and trying to blame it on the alcohol or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, low.
Saying and doing a lot of ignorant shit that's not gonna lead to anything good. Yeah, that's low vibrational.
And then like it's not just one thing. You are doing it constantly. Like people don't like. I'm 32. I'll be 33 this year. So you got people who've been getting drunk and lit since teens
Right, like
and
it's a
don't
thing.
realize like that's an addiction now.
Right,
You
it's part
can't
of your
escape.
lifestyle.
Yeah, you can't escape that unless you really try.
You
And it's
gotta
low
make some
vibrational.
changes,
When you
yeah.
think of low vibration is like if you around small minds talk about people. If you around a group of people and their conversation consists of what somebody else is doing and somebody else motion, and that's low vibration.
Exactly.
Low vibration is what you are. The complaining. Complaining is the on the other side of the spectrum of gratitude.
And that crab in a bucket type of shit.
Right,
Instead
that's
of trying
low
to do
vibration.
better, you want to try to pull other people down. Talk about what they're doing and how
Or
it's
they
not none of
failures.
that.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you not making any moves.
Ain't doing shit but talking about another motherfucker.
Or complaining about a problem you not gonna fix.
That part.
So that's
That's the
low
world we
vibration.
live in, though. You know what I mean? Like people would rather just point the finger at what everybody else is doing to kind of justify their position and how
That made me
they're
think of
moving.
Scarface.
His
His
point
monologue.
your
he was
finger.
looking
I
and
thought
say,
about it.
that's the
You
bad
want to
guy.
point your finger and say that's the bad guy.
You need
But say
people like
hello
me.
to the bad guy.
You need people like me.
That's right. Hell yeah.
Because what that make you good? No, you're not good. You good at pretending.
And he said just that. He meant that shit when he said
He said, I always tell the truth.
it. Even when I lie.
Even when I
Hell yeah. Tony Montana. That's that guy.
No, I mean but if that's the case and that's the truth, and I'm not saying it's not, then 90% of everything that we're intaking, social media, mass media, TikTok, all these other stuff, man. A lot of this is complaining. A lot of this is who shot Paul, who didn't do, who ain't got, But at some point, we have to sort of, in my estimation, even like when you look at the civil rights movement, when you look at all the movements that have ever come out, you have to kind of complain yourself out of a hole. Because somebody has to start pointing fingers at the system and the structures and the things and calling it what it is. We can't, we can't. You kind of like got to kill it with fire type of thing. Like you got to bring it to whatever the problem is.
It's
If
the
the-
difference between complaining and identifying.
Okay.
Okay, all right, I
that's
fuck with
what-
that.
I'm
I fuck
thinking
with
that
that.
in my head, like
Like you could
Yeah,
you could
it-
identify the problem, but like I say, it's an active conspiracy. You gonna hear me say this all the time. It's an active conspirator and a passive conspirator. The passive is the system, but the active is the individual, is the person. I am a part of a system that is designed for me to be this single mother raising kids, getting assistance, and just depending on the government. And that's the system that's built for me. But me as a person, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Not saying that, it's gonna be perfect, but if you just feel like, and that's a part of low vibration, feeling that you are just a victim to it completely, and you have no say in what happens to your life. That's low vibration, and a lot of us do live in that realm.
Right. Some people feel helpless though. It's like they know where they want to be, what they want out of life, but then they look at where they are.
They
And
don't want to look in that mirror.
they can't see that part too because they don't want to admit to themselves the choices they made previously in their life to get them in the position they are in now.
Mhm.
And when they envision where they want to be, it seems so impossible to ever attain that position in life. But what I tell my children all the time is like, change is not going to be instant. You're just not going to say you have achieved this certain thing or learned this certain thing, and that's going to be your life. You have to take the necessary steps, make the necessary sacrifices, make the right choices in the right moments to attain your goal, to walk that path to your goal. So yeah, I hate that the way the world is, so many of us are complacent in our position where we are and just so upset about it, so distraught about it, but not really making moves to progress beyond it. You know what I mean? Just like you say, just lashing out from being stuck and making excuses and projecting on other people why acting like a victim almost, like why I can't do what I need to do to be a better person because whatever was lacking or whatever somebody else did against me or should have did for me to help me achieve whatever. But we gotta start looking at ourselves, like you said, look in the mirror, be honest with yourself about what you did, why you did it, and the consequences thereof that have you in the position you in now. And maybe then you can progress beyond it and grow beyond it.
And that breaks down the vibration. Low vibration is, like say, the complaining, the blaming, the victimhood. As you start to look in the mirror and being self-aware, that's where your consciousness starts to grow. That's where you start growing as a person because I'm looking at me and looking at what are my vices, what are my habits, what am I, and you're starting because you only understand other people as much as you understand yourself. If you don't know, you don't even know why you do certain things. You don't even know why you feel certain ways, and you're not even trying to explain it. Like I say, I'm a passport agent partner,
Hello, hello. Yeah.
and you'll be surprised how many
Yeah,
people
door lock.
look at their birth certificates like, oh, I didn't know my mom name was this. I didn't know my dad's middle name was this. And it's just the fact how much you don't even know about yourself. You just know I get up and this is what I do daily, but you don't know you. So I think
There's
knowing
a lot
you.
going on. Right. There's a lot going
So
on.
when you get to know you, then you can start to just unravel. But you yourself is a project. You're
But
a
to
project.
allude to just what you not to cut you off,
No,
to
no,
allude
no.
to just what you just said, like, cause this stuff about my parents that I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say this: it's like, excuse me, it's like some things you know, some things you remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then as you get older and learn more about life and life experiences show you more, you understand things differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might revisit the same memory you had and look at it different and realize something that was there all along. You just didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like,
But see, that's the purpose of memories.
yeah.
Memories is to go back to the past and abstract whatever lesson or what you had to. But a lot of people don't because when you go back in the past, it's like re-breaking bones sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I gotta re-cry about something. Sometimes I gotta hash out an argument. Like I be in the dark in my house, like just rehashing out an argument I had with my mom when I was in like 11th grade. And when you start, like I said, when you're going through it, and as a parent, you look at that from now, the parent's perspective in that
Mhm.
argument,
Right.
and not just the
right.
10. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It
But
makes
it's
sense.
only
In the
if you're
moment though,
willing.
you was like, nah, they tripping.
Yeah,
They tripping.
right.
They don't see where I'm coming from. They don't understand what I'm trying to say. And maybe they didn't, but do you understand more why they didn't see that. Or maybe they did see it but disregarded it because it wasn't as important as the big picture. You know
And
what
see that weighs, and by you doing that, that makes you a better parent.
I mean? Oh yeah.
Because now, but if you do that with your life, but see, no one wants to sit in that dark. Hey, Navia. No one wants to sit by themselves. No one wants to, because it's hard. Because like I say, it's loud. Silence is loud.
Yeah. And sometimes that being honest with yourself about yourself. A lot of people ain't built like that.
They ain't ready to deal with it.
Nah, they're not built like that. They can't deal with that. Like they're gonna have to make a lot of excuses or blame a lot of people for a lot of things before they can even acknowledge certain things are a certain way. So that just to me shows a lot of growth is still needed and necessary.
Understand. Can you pass me a bottle of water, please? Thank you. Thank you. Me too. All right, pass that to Navia. I'm gonna take the water bottle.
You wanted some wine?
Yeah.
What is that?
I'm a big wine head.
We used to call that winos back in the day.
This damn water good. This ain't no regular drinking water. This. Ooh. Yeah.
We got Stella Rosa Tropical Mango.
Ooh, shit. Damn,
This one
Stella
right
Rosa got a tropical mango.
We got Stella Peach down here too. This right here is pineapple. We got pineapple. Stella Peach. I mean, hold on, we got more selection. We got Moscato the Asti. I probably fucked that up. Y'all don't know better, so that's exactly how it goes. That is something.
Is it raining outside?
Yes. I got fucking board on.
Oh, I need to
Is it
be in
raining
my
heavily?
bed. See, I need to be in my motherfucking bed.
Cooler, you can't
What
see
time
shit
is
on the road.
It's 10:19. It's time
Oh,
for me
you-
to school, and it's about to rain 100% tonight. You
Oh,
talking about
you
somebody
so
ain't about to be
baby.
fucked up in their bed with their windows open?
What the
Whole pajama thing.
Yeah.
Yes, because she said this is her sleep time. This is her relaxed time.
I just got off of work at 8:30. I had to rush home, take a shower. And then I was like, damn, I was supposed to watch some Bridgerton. You know, because the Cinderella season, man, this shit pissing me off. I always hated the Cinderella story. But, like, I'm giving it some time. I want to fuck those sisters up along with that mom.
Stepmother.
Yeah.
What is Bridgerton?
It's basically
If you have to
a
ask.
classier version of, like, all of the princess stories.
What are the princess stories? I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound like a real fucking child here. What are the princess stories?
Tell me about the princess stories, now.
So you've never watched, like, Sleeping Beauty, Snow
Oh,
White?
okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, there's like different backstories regarding it. But we all know the truth about the real princesses. You can go on and learn Pocahontas.
Hey, Job, let me ask you a question, brother.
No. Oh.
I didn't even get a chance to ask.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now I'm gonna just sit here quietly, with my arms folded over my chest, wondering why the fuck I got a stick. Everybody else got some real fucking technology. Oh, let me help
Tell
you.
you about the time that I had almost dropped a cup of wine on the floor and I caught the cup.
Yeah, she caught that shit. I asked her was she Spider-Man. I was like,
What was your answer?
I was just like, I have really good reflexes.
So she did confirm or deny.
Okay. I'm gonna kick that wine over and see what happens.
All of my friends can
On
tell
life.
I'm high right now. But
On life.
the moral of the story is
The moral of the story.
I
I love
story
it.
is I have really good reflexes.
Cat-like reflexes.
When I'm high.
Good morning to you.
Man, I really want to test this now. Doc, throw something at her and see if she catch it.
I'm not gonna do that.
What? Come on, bro.
Do it right now.
You know what? Just
I
wait
don't
till
know,
she's
right
not
now,
paying
I'm
attention.
trying to do this, so I don't think that would be smart. But you know, like if we just chilling and he just throws something, I'll be like, I may knock this. Shit.
I don't mean like nothing heavy.
Oh
like,
no, like
You know, throw a pillow her way. See what she do when she not looking. I want to test these reflexes out.
And too expensive. I can't report a replacement anything in here. That's that part.
Brother, you got to stop lying. We can see they can't see it because it's not on camera. We can see the technology in this room. Quit getting on this camera about some, oh, I'm too broke. Where?
Anyway.
I don't
It is a
even know
nice
what I
setup,
look
dog.
like right
I
now.
commend you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I was checking the board, how you got the board set up.
Right.
That's some DJ shit. You know we gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up.
So okay, now I want to ask a question. I walked downstairs and I remember there was a question I wanted to ask. I got people in like mad different age groups in here. I think
what are
we're
the
well
age
represented
From the child, I'm sorry.
from the 20s all the way up to the 40s. You 40s, isn't it?
Shit.
You 50s for real?
50s, dog.
That's crazy. Word.
Where?
50 where?
Where? Who? Who 50? Ain't no 50 in here.
I'm 55.
I thought
55?
What?
Ain't no fucking way.
Born 1970.
You age like wine.
Thank you. I received that.
I look
Bruh.
half that good at 55, boy.
Because it feel like I'm getting older and you staying the same. This shit ain't fair. Like, you gotta hate a nigga like that. This is the last time you'll see this nigga on this podcast. I can tell you that shit today.
Bria, how old are you?
Oh, hey, congratulate, man.
You're 32. Jive, you never introduced the room to our new guest, so I don't.
Oh,
even
so
know
this
how to-
is, so this gentleman,
no fool.
this lady, she is not a guest. One, two.
She live here. This is where she live at, right
Yeah, this
here?
is, she been here.
Oh,
Okay, but you ain't introduced nobody.
I ain't introduced you.
You ain't introduced the camera, nobody.
crazy.
Hey, yo, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all already know who she is, yo.
Hey, y'all.
Navi is in the building.
Navi, how old are you? What is your age, if you don't mind my asking? And you shouldn't, because you're not a white woman.
I'm 24.
24?
Mm-hmm.
A baby. Oh my God.
That's why I said I'm the baby in here. But I do have an in-depth brain, and Jive likes when I talk.
Yeah, she say dope stuff. Very clippable things. She said some wild shit before, but
Uh-huh.
I'll just let it be organic for y'all.
And it's good to have a good representation.
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, we
all
got-
age
very
groups,
much
you know what I
so.
mean? All
Very much.
perspectives and whatnot. You know what I mean?
A lady named Bria, what are you watching?
Oh, TLC.
You haven't been in this room since you walked
I've been
in.
in the whole room.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. I was multitasking.
Jive don't understand multitasking.
He doesn't at
He
all
don't.
because he sucks at multitasking.
He know one thing at a time.
Anyway, yo, so we got a bunch of people at different ages in the room, yo. So I wanted to get a question. I wanted to ask a question. What do y'all think about like where you're at
What's
as far as
going on with all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback, some static.
Is that me?
Nah, it's been going on. When he left the room, it was happening.
I don't. Is it happening now?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Static. I don't know what I'm hitting.
We grooving. Put that back on.
When he said, "Get down,"
Yeah, that's
everybody
that
started-
good. That's that good technical problems music. Jive, put that back on.
Why you figure that
Yeah,
shit?
Alright, that's enough of that.
What's wrong, brother?
Are we good? We clear?
Yeah, we good.
All right, cool beans.
It's still there.
Yeah, ain't shit changed, but we good. You know,
Yeah.
if it flare up, I'll let you know. But it's
I wonder if it's because I'm sitting on this.
nah, it was happening before you got here.
So there's a static in the room? Is it heavy?
It's static in our ear.
Let me see. Now I gotta see stuff.
Oh, shit.
Where is the other?
Twisting and turning your phone all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's wicked. I need one of those.
Till you see the price of it, then all of a sudden, you know what? I don't need it that bad. I seen the price of
Bro, that's like a homemade music video right there.
it. It is
How much that was?
well over $5.
5 good American dollars.
Well over that number.
I just spent that on my my new
I'm
glasses.
just gonna assume $80 on
No.
well over $80.
It's a little bit more
it.
than
Dead ass.
Yeah.
I have seen the price. You don't. It's not for podcast consumption. People don't need to know.
450.
Look,
400.
hold on. Turn your head over here off camera. Mm-hmm. This is your number that you're looking for right here. You're not supposed to say it. That's why it was off the camera, Navi.
Come on, man.
Some things aren't for the podcast.
You know I'm about to get twisty.
Liddy.
You went to get you a smoothie today?
I go to get me a smoothie today.
Mm-hmm. Check your mic.
Yeah, I think it's my mic. It's doing a little feedback.
Check your mic.
I think it's my mic.
Say that.
I'm pretty sure it's my mic.
Check the cord below it. See if it's all the way. Yeah. Gotta check those cords.
Gotta check those chords.
Put the tech music back on.
I heard something.
Oh, beautiful. That's everything cleared up.
Mic check. Nah, it's ish, but we're good. We're good. We as good as we gonna get at this moment. Yo. So my question to y'all now that my, let me go ahead and hit it with the thing, and boom. There we go. So you're 55 years old, yo. Like,
54, but less than 56.
hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Talk to him.
So how do y'all feel about, like, how do you feel like, you're single? You single?
At this stage of life, yes, sir.
So how do you feel about dating?
Oh man, it's different out here. I've tried it.
Bring the mic closer to you a little bit.
I've tried it, but at this stage, I'm chilling, man. I don't know, man. The way the world is right now, the way people's minds are, the way people thinking.
What are you perceiving, man? What are you getting?
What I'm seeing out here is what we were talking about earlier. A lot of superficial, surface level, self-serving bullshit. Like people are just rehashing what they've heard or what they've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real life with mine, dog. I'm IRL. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of that. Like somebody asked me today, like I was showing you pictures of my kids with this trip I just made this past weekend, right?
Right.
And they were like, "Are you gonna post it online?" I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not gonna post it online. Like I don't post my
Right.
kids. Like
Right. I don't.
you know what I mean? Like I post when I'm DJing shit like that. Stuff I want people to know. But about me personally, you gotta know me to know me. You know what I mean? Because so many people use social media to portray the image of how they want to be perceived, right? But when you meet them as a person, they're not that. They're not that image that they want to portray on social media or whatever. I just can't get into that. I'm just not even. I guess it could be my age. I come from a different time. You know what I mean? Like when I had beepers back in the day, right? Like 520 Wings
Right.
was the beeper store. You know what I mean? Back in the day. Word. And I had my beeper from that store for like a long time. I had the same number. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm from a different time, dog. You know what I mean?
So
When your phone rang, you ain't know who was on that motherfucker till you answered it. Word. So it's a different time. It's a different way of thinking, a different way of looking at things. You know what I mean?
but at the same time, I'm a little younger, but I do remember that time a little bit. You did have a sense of who was on that phone. You could kind of tell by the time what was going on. You kind of had a mental, like a Rolodex, and the motherfuckers who knew
Maybe.
your number.
Maybe, yeah, but when the phone rings, it could be anybody. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Call it for anybody. You know what I mean? It
Yo,
wasn't no
this
call
shit
ID.
just
This
died,
is
man.
before
You see
call ID. Call ID was a thing. Like, oh shit, now we can see who calling before we
Yeah.
answer the phone. Like, oh shit.
Look at the jump.
You know your thing died.
It didn't die. You're not looking at it, so it just kept.
He said, "Fuck you. We don't want to fuck with
shit.
you." Give it an okay there, Bria.
I can tell you everything he just said. Damn.
Niggas who can't multitask got the most complaints in the
I
world.
ain't lying.
Low
Like,
vibration.
like we wasn't just sitting in here since 8:30.
Been begging this nigga
There
to
it
turn the
is.
fucking
There
mic
it
on.
is.
Begging him. Bam. Girl, you better turn his ass off. Give me no left hand bullshit.
He said black.
Right hand. You all right, Bria.
No, nigga is the nigga that stood.
Oh, hold up now. Because now he said it was your fault. This motherfucker died immediately as soon as it turned back on.
Oh,
Tell you something, fuck this nigga. Over here blaming us, talking down on us, putting us in the mud, and his shit broke. In addition to, yes. Unlike you, I can multitask my anger as well. You know what I'm saying? I can be mad at least 3 things at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I've really been out here hating, real hater shit, dog. This ain't no fucking.
haters ball.
Hey.
Hey.
Navi, do you understand that reference? Do you get that reference? Or are you too young for that?
Haters ball.
I don't know. That's like my dad's time.
That's some old Dave
God
Chappelle
damn,
shit.
that make me feel old. I'm not even that much older than you.
How old are you?
I'm still in my 20s. Thank you.
Don't tell nobody that.
What? The lie? Bria, why you calling me out? We the same age. We both 32. Why would you
Because
call me out?
I feel
like
bad that girl got to hold her face when you say I'm 20 something, man. You trying not to make.
That? But she knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
Look, everybody on the podcast, everybody in the room knew it was a lie. We can't just let it sit there. Just move past it.
No,
I
it's
will-
trying to hold your face when you hear that damn line. Act like you going.
Just
with the line.
let your face do what it's gonna do. But then just don't bring it up.
Oh, okay.
I'm 36 years old. I'll be 37 in June.
Ooh,
And I'm still the youngest person in this fucking room.
I
You know what I'm saying? So how about that?
I know you like the second youngest because
No, I don't mean the second youngest. She younger than me. I'm the youngest person in this room. You know how I know that?
how?
No offense, Navi. You look fantastic. I'm not in my pajamas right now, and I have no intention of going to bed soon. Bria, what you gonna do as soon as you walk out this room?
get fucked up in my bed.
Navi, you already in the pajamas. I didn't need to ask you. You in the pajamas, right? This question don't even need to be asked. Job, you got some napkins?
Yeah, I'll get it in a second. So, a lady named Bria, how do you feel about your age?
What about my age?
That's
mean,
a whole new
like-
question.
Huh?
Right.
That's not the question you asked my man Doc.
Like,
You asked him about dating. Now you asked
date,
her.
like, how do you feel about your age and dating? Yeah.
Like
Because from what he's saying, like, yo, the whole mind around dating has changed, right? The whole mind around the expectations has changed. Is that what I'm getting?
I guess in a nutshell, but more so, I guess just I don't think the majority of people these days are genuine.
Do you think it was a little more genuine before, and it's degraded? It's like come down a
Let me
step
just
or two.
say, I think with social media being as prevalent as it is in our society, it controls a lot. It decides things for people a lot of the time. People just follow the trends. You know what I mean? And kind of just scroll to see how they should do things.
or
So
we
it
use.
kinda-
Oh, sorry, I meant to cut you.
No, go ahead.
Or we use social media to set the trends. We allow. That's where we getting our relationship advice from. Just because it's on a platform, we don't care who's saying it as long as it goes with what we wanna.
And then two people
Our
make it.
ideology.
They
at
make
the
it
time.
catchy. They put
Yeah.
music behind it and funny videos.
Put a pretty
and stuff.
girl in front of it. And
Yeah,
then
and make it entertaining. You know what I mean?
But
Nice
for-
editing techniques.
I don't know. For me, dating now is more. I'll say before it was more simple. I'm not gonna say it was easier. It was simpler. Now it's a lot of factors in it. Cause like even on the clips that I've talked about in like previous time back, when I speak on that, I get a lot of comments like, "Oh, she's probably not sure of herself. She this." And then I hear other guys saying the exact same thing that I said. Like it's just so many factors of social media right now. It's so many alleys. It's so many ideologies around cheating. It's so many ideologies where the whole bait what is it what it's not your little side thing. What do they call it? what do they call it?
Side piece.
They don't call it side piece no more. They call it huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What's
That.
that?
Well, like whatever that side thing is,
Just say,
your situationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So everything's more like a situationship to
Yeah.
where it's you have to like right now for me, and I kind of got it, but you got to roll with the times. You got to know what you're dealing with because you can't go with you can't be stuck with the 80s or the 90s mentality trying to go into this new era.
That's real. And
You
I
got
guess
to
that's
move
my
with the
problem.
time.
I guess that's my problem because I'm like, the situationships, I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm seeing what's going down. I'm like, okay, all right. Just going through the motions. Then after a while, I'm like, yo, I can't even do this. Like, this is it's not going nowhere. It's not going to go anywhere. So, like, I'm going to not put any more time or effort into this.
I mean, but it makes it easier to kind of I don't say it make it easier, but it make to find your tribe of people. Cause there are people that think like you, but it's just you gotta find them. You gotta
Yeah,
kind of
that's
filter through
real.
the BS.
Yeah.
But I'm single, so what about you, Chris?
I just told you this earlier.
Oh yeah,
Jive, how long have I known you? Since 2016, 17? They're about
Something like
almost
that.
like a
Yeah, yeah,
decade
yeah,
now,
yeah.
right? Jive, have you ever heard me? Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Tell you about a partner I've had or a relationship I want to be in, anything like that?
I thought at some point there was a somebody you was kind of like.
You've never heard it one time. My point being, I don't deal in this shit. I don't care. I think, I don't want to be a downer here. Going off of what they say, I think more so than there is a actual social media problem. I think people just have a perception issue. They perceive things to be. They look at the problems that exist that have always existed, and then because there is this relatively new thing, this is the reason for it. But my father was cheating on my mother the day they fucking met. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not new. People having calling it a situationship is something new, but the way humans relate to each other is no different today than it was 70 years ago, 100 years ago.
So that's the part that I kind of wanted to get to. Like, there's this. I think it's a myth. My camera's off right now, but I think there's this myth that the way it is the way it's always been, and that there's zero responsibility that we have to the degradation of how it got to be what it is now. And I don't think that's true. I don't think there's any true. I don't think there's any proof to exactly the way it is right now, to the degree that it is that way. It was that then.
I
Even
was on this show a few weeks ago
uh-huh,
with halftime sitting right there,
uh-huh.
and I told you you can go back and read slave narratives from the Work Progress Administration, and you'll see enslaved people talking about the same shit while they're enslaved. That I was in a relationship with her, and she
But
was
okay,
cheating
so
on
then
me
you're
with him.
also again in all those cases we keep pointing at the very minority of people because in slavery the minority of people who are reading and writing. Come on, man.
These are people who are no longer enslaved. This was in the 1920s, 1930s. These are done. These are with formerly enslaved people telling you about their
So
lives.
like, and I do this when men do this thing about like polygamy, and they well they was polygamous in the past. Yes, the aristocracy was polygamous. The aristocracy could afford to do that. The serfs, the plebs, these people, that wasn't their lifestyle. And that was the majority of humans
Absolutely.
for thousands of years. So
Absolutely.
the majority of the human beings for thousands of years were monogamous people because that's just what it was.
That's true today.
Right. So the idea that we can extrapolate a trend from the very minority of people and say, well, this is what everybody was doing because the small group of people up until very recently who had the ability to read, write, print, do all these things reported this. And then we could say, this must have been the whole culture.
Do you
It's
think that
almost
when
like
I say
saying,
that
uh-huh.
that cheating and multiple partners isn't new, that I'm saying that everybody did that or that everybody does that today?
But you said there's no difference between
I'm
now,
saying that
70 years
human
ago.
relations have not changed in 1,000 years. No, that is exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
So yeah, so you're
you-
saying to the extent that it's happening now,
Yes.
it's exactly the way it's always been.
I'm not saying exactly. I'm saying it's the same thing.
That's not the same thing,
the
though.
pushback I would say is
Go ahead.
before, like I say, social media is new to all of us. This is very new how we're interacting, but now we do have a platform where before, like I say, uncle, granddaddy, daddy, you only saw what was around. Women, right now, you have all these women, all these men in my inbox. Now you do see women have this more heightened, I don't want to say arrogance, but let's just call it that for lack of a better word. Of I got all these options, and you got men, because
At the same time,
that's
though,
what that platform has done, to where this man, I'm not even gonna give this man a chance because it's a possibility I have 20 guys that's in my inbox, or I'm not gonna try with my relationship, or I'm not gonna,
Satisfying that need of acknowledgement and being lust after.
and that's
Right.
and that has played a very big part in it, as far as men who are in a committed relationship, and instead of appreciating the woman next to you, you looking at, as soon as a man gets on, because Jive shows me when he get on his Facebook or something, it's nothing but ass and titties all over the. So now, as a man, I'm being drawn into this world to look at everything my girl's not, and now it's kind of putting a wall in between our relationship. So it does put a big difference in it.
you two know what I'm talking about. Doc and Jive. Mid '90s, early 2000s. You go to any register, any store. Jet magazine is sitting right there. What is inside Jet magazine?
Beauty of the week.
Jet beauty of the week.
She got any clothes on?
Yeah, she's scantily clad, but she got clothes on.
Okay. Every other fucking magazine on that rack. What was in the magazines? Beauties
Same
of the
exact
week.
thing.
All that. You go to the magazine right now. They don't magazine, if, as far as it exists, doesn't have that anymore. They just moved that from the magazine rack to your phone.
But you
What's the
didn't have
difference?
access to that woman.
You don't
other
have
than
access to that
seeing.
woman now.
You can.
It's much more prevalent though. It's so much easier, and there's so many more beauties of the week you're gonna see just scrolling through.
Right,
Whereas
yeah, sure.
before you had to go get that physical magazine, buy it, open it to page 42.
Yeah, you know the page. And that was,
That's
but see,
deviant
that was
behavior.
fantasy though. And I think in a mind, like, that's fantasy, right? That's
Word,
fantasy. And
word.
right now you have so many girls, they are not typical Jet beauty of the week, but I see more girls taking fucking photo shoots just on a damn Tuesday.
That's right.
And she works at damn McDonald's, but she got, like, it's right now you have access to it. If it's not the exact Jet beauty of the week, I got 30 girls in Savannah right now that want that same attention. That's gonna
And
do
they go
everything
get it.
I want. Exactly.
They go get somebody.
And
gonna be
I
right in
have
there, no
access to
DMs.
that. It's nothing but a $40 tip away and a little bit of sweet lies, and I got this bitch.
I think this generation just lacks discipline.
Right, definitely.
And
I had this conversation
genuinely,
recently.
I used to be a person that carried a lot of lustful tendencies and did not know discipline, and I used to cheat. But
That is very honest.
instead of like not working on it, I was celibate. Don't get me wrong, I had some friends because
You're human.
I had to keep falling down and seeing I need to focus on what really I was put on this earth for, and that's obviously music. But what also makes me happy too, just at that. I was focused on me. I wasn't paying attention. I stayed to myself, and I realized that once I had my awakening, I seen all the stuff that the algorithm puts out there. Like, I could see a female twerking her ass on my page, and I'll immediately scroll past it, and then I'll just see more video, and I didn't like it or whatnot. So then I'll have to do this thing where I'll have to like certain photos of like random animals, snakes or whatnot, to get that shit off my algorithm, because I just don't want to see that nowadays. And I think personally, I don't think I want to see a man's dick out in my DMs 24/7 trying to holla at me. I don't know where I took this, but yeah. Moral of the story is, I think personally, there's a lot of lust. There's no discipline, and I'm happy with what I found in this generation because it wasn't pretty out there for a while. Shit,
What
three
have you
years.
found in this generation that you're happy about?
Um, I think I've already explained this, but I have a significant other that like I didn't have to search. I didn't have to uh be a certain way. He kind of just like found me, and I realized that me and this person have like so much stuff in common. And it's weird how the universe, God, you know, put you in certain situations so that way you could see certain things for you to value yourself a lot more. And, you know, I mean, I got my little promise ring. I don't know if y'all want to see
I noticed
Eh,
that.
Turn out this way.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Go
that.
ahead with your bad self, girl.
So, like, you know, I think honestly, if you focus on what's in front of you, there's so much more than to what the outside world has, like social media and all that other stuff. I don't I mean, I look at it, I'll be like, oh, this is cute, blase blooper, whatnot, but I'm not like one to, now that I have the discipline and the discernment and stuff, I don't need to look outside of the relationship to see that validation because I'm not on a low vibrational status. I'm more on a mid high, you feel me? So it's
And I
like,
commend you
yeah.
for that. And I guess the point we were making is that many of the masses are not on that level of life to
Yeah.
be able to appreciate the moments in life that transcend the trends and what everybody is saying is hot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like just knowing in life what is really valuable, right? That part.
I also think it also has to taking it back to where like you was raised, how you was raised, and like who taught you how to love, because that also stems from it. But if you don't, it really only starts with yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're not gonna be able to love anybody else. And me, I can testify to that. Like on some real shit. I see so many people that are like my friends, have kids, damn near at like 18 when I was growing up with them in high school and stuff. Some people got killed, shot, you know. Some people just took different paths, and it's just like, oh, you know, I'm kind of grateful with what I have going on. And I think a lot of the times we tend to forget what God has to offer us. You know, he takes his time. He don't just come when you need him. You gotta be at that all time salvation on your knees. You know, that's when he could really talk to you and speak to you.
So here's my question though, because I believe everything you're saying. The crazy part about it is, I like what Chris was saying. Like things have been augmented, but historically, this is like the '90s, the 2000s, even the 2020s, whatever. It's like a blip in the complete historical map of like how we've been, right? If you're talking about like, let's just like spread this out, like the 1619 to now, like just in that 400-500 year chunk of time, that's not always been our experience of how we've been interpersonal with each other. But since monetization, since mass media, since there are some things that have come along with it that have been so enduring, it seems like forever. But it wasn't. It wasn't always like this.
Right.
And we it's easier for us to go, it's always been like this. So I don't have to take responsibility in the way I participated, in the way I kind of helped put my drop in the bucket towards making it heavier. And they say, "Oh no, it was always this heavy." It wasn't though.
When
And
was
when
it?
you look back in the past, were there always bad actors? Yes. I'm not trying to tell you we were just a community filled with the greatest human beings of all time at capacity. But we weren't always, like she said, every single girl in the community having a show of fashion or a show of hypersexuality in order to garner that 42 page 42 attention. There wasn't a possibility for that to be always. But since we see it now, we go,
How do
oh,
you
well, that's
think them
always been a
women-
thing.
How you think the women got on page 42? Like they just popped up there, or do you think that they took steps in their life that ended them up on page 42? Because it was a different one every week. That's 52 a year, and it wasn't just Jet.
So, but there's
Th-
there's
Th- th- it's
52
not
there's
a-
52 on my For You page now, and if I
Mhm.
refresh, it's 52 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Refresh,
Mm-hmm.
52 more people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the,
You go
the
buy the
scale up.
magazine,
The
they've got it.
scale up. So
you
if
could buy
we,
the
if, you know what I'm
Playboy,
saying?
you could buy the Hustler.
Right. So, but there's even
Women
that,
selling their bodies
the gate-
is not
the-
something new.
But I'm
or
not saying
unique
it's
to
new.
right
I'm
now.
saying that there is a degradation. There's a scale that things existed at one point in time, and then there's a scale when things trend up where they get to another level. And in order to be honest about how we got from here to here, we have to what was the process between there and there.
Because it's definitely more accessible.
You can see it more often, but is it
I mean,
genuinely more women?
I don't know. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go
I
ahead,
kind of
please.
side with you because, like, you're right. It did progress to where we could have more access. But like when I was growing up as a child, excuse me, I'm so sorry, mom, for this. Like, there was porn CDs and stuff growing up. You get what I'm saying? And we didn't know what the white CD was. So sometimes your grandfather or something, I'm just saying, has something laying around or whatnot. It was always accessible as a kid. And that's why the boys used to go ahead in the rooms, and close the door and be like, make sure nobody come in. And then you always had to watch. Listen, I grew up
No,
as
but you know what the beauty about that is? Go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish. But I'm gonna tell you
Okay,
the beauty about that.
So my thing is, it's just like you can't even do that anymore. It's just like, God forbid I leave a kid on TikTok. They can click some type of link and it'll just go to a whole different sex thing.
Some OnlyFans.
And
Yeah.
and see, that's what I mean. Like, the best part of being a child then was the sneak.
Not getting caught.
No,
Like,
it wasn't. It was just the fact that I had to sneak. Like, I remember guys when Pinky came out,
I
all the
remember
guys
Pinky.
just going crazy about Pinky, but everybody had that disc. Everybody had that hidden thing. Now it's on TikTok. It's everywhere. I can pick it up and it's plastered all over the phone, even when I'm not looking at a porn site.
If you're not looking for that, it's
I still
presented
have
to you.
access to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is what they're talking about when they talk about children's access to it, because it's everywhere. And then you knew where to go to get it when you got that Playboy magazine.
Dog, it was in the
You
grocery
knew
store.
where you.
So let me make a parallel.
Buying
Let
my
me make a,
cereal, I could
me
see
draw a-
the fucking the naked women in the same store with the cereal.
so let me make it.
were
Let me draw
you
a
with
parallel.
your mom? Were you grabbing it, looking at it? Did everyone
In front
have
of your mom in the
access?
I didn't know it existed because I wasn't doing that. Like, I knew what was in the Jet magazine. I knew what was in the Playboy,
The
and it
point of
wasn't
the point
just
of it
in the
is,
ether. I knew exactly where
you
it was.
couldn't accidentally stumble on something in your pocket at that level of proliferation. That's something like I don't.
There's certainly more access to those things. Yes,
so then,
but it's
so
not
then
like
that's the,
it's
so
not
that's
been,
the, so that is proliferation, right?
That's the take.
So like so there's the Manhattan Project, and then there's one atomic bomb,
Mhm.
right? Then there's the leak.
Okay.
Everybody figures out how to make the bomb. In order to acknowledge that there needs to be nuclear parity, we have to acknowledge how many bombs there are in total and then try to match it. We can't pretend that
we are talking about
that
two very different
proliferation
things,
didn't
though.
happen and more people got their hands on the ability to produce. So therefore, now there's more nuclear bombs on the planet now than there was when they made the thing.
But here's
So then
here's
when they
what- let me-
made, so
let me
when they
stop you for a
made that,
second.
when they
Let me stop you for just
ahead,
one
go ahead,
second.
go
Right there. Before there were nukes, they killed way more people. The 40 years before there was a single nuke, they killed 70 million. They killed 140 million people.
you're missing the point. So
My
so-
point is that yes,
no,
nukes are bad. Nukes are bad. It's
but that's
bad
not the
thing that
that's
they're
not the
there,
point. That's not the point that I'm
But it's
trying
not
to
like
make.
they weren't
That's-
killing each other before
But that's
the
not the
nukes.
point. That's not the point at all.
That there's more porn and you have more access to it is a bad thing. Yes, but it's not like it wasn't there and it wasn't being spread
but that's
around
the,
and
but
shared.
but that's
before
not my
that.
argument. The
What is
argument
the
is
argument?
It's in your pocket, meaning, and everyone has in the store.
like so
You
so
say
like
you-
wait. So regardless of how great he looks, Doc is from a bygone era. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably on the tier end of where you had to like, in order to get these, you had to go like they were called blue movies.
Like this shit. Like, I don't want to see that shit, but somebody could share it on my page and I have to see that shit. It's more accessible. Sorry, I didn't mean. But like, come on, be for real.
Right. You just
like,
open your phone
I just
to
opened my
answer a
shit.
message, and you scroll up, and it's right there.
Like, I don't want to see.
So
what
why do we have to pretend?
I don't want to see what the
Right.
Glock
So
3000
why do we have to
can do?
pretend that what just happened is always happened?
Because think about when I had tagged, when social media came out, there was tagged. This was before MySpace took off. I can scroll tag and not see none of that.
I was
MySpace
on tag,
came.
and you absolutely would see that stuff on tag.
I did, like, I was in middle school, and you, like I say, it didn't pop up to mine. I
Here's the
saw
other
what
thing.
I saw. Like I say, now if you were older and you had another more access and you searched more, whatever. But I know that was not what was popping up, even on my MySpace. Unless I went searching, it wasn't popping up. Right now, she just opened her phone just on a random check, and it's a sex toy wiggling in her damn face.
Let me just
Right there.
let me ask
Also,
a
they
question.
be listening to our conversations on the phone.
You did that part.
So like,
That
you
part.
can't have no fucking privacy at all.
So then again, the proliferation, something that's changed. It's gotten to where it is now, and we have to be honest and be able to say it wasn't exactly like this. Something happened.
They are catering to our low vibrational basic instincts
Right.
as a
So just like if we understand the '94 crime bill and we understand mass incarceration and we understand the ramp up of putting black men in jail, we can't go, well, niggas was always in jail.
Right.
Not like that.
But what is
Something
but that is
happened.
but that is something changed, and then there's this. People have more access to porn, and then what? The '94 crime bill, more people in prison, more access to porn, and then what? What is the next part?
Desensitizing, even in relationships where it is a lot of relationships are declining because a man is looking at a porn star, which that is her fucking job, is to do whatever she do the best at what she do in the nastiest, and now he's looking at his wife who just cooked, cleaned it, the whole house, and taking care of the kids, and he's wondering why isn't she doing what this bitch is paid to do. And it destroys relationships. It has
Any of
destroyed
the-
relationships.
Jezebel, a succubus, a
Any of the any of the information that we have on divorce rates and the reasons why people get divorced, those aren't significant in any way as to why people get divorced.
Infidelity isn't a significant reason?
Not that. I didn't say infidelity isn't a significant reason.
No, but I
that's-
follow a very top divorce lawyer, and he often talks about how women feel like most of the pressure's on them,
But
and,
hear what you
like
said,
in
though.
that balance.
Listen to what you said. You follow. That's a person who wants to be followed, who wants you. So they need to. They have to market themselves.
No, he
So
doesn't
whether
have
it's-
to mark. No, he
So whether it's the truth or not, this is something that they
just-
want to say.
But for you, this is what he, from his perspective of his field of study. If I
A divorce
like
lawyer is not
right
a
now,
field of study.
well, his field of career, I process divorce cases.
Huh?
I process divorce cases. And that, like I say, I can speak on it because this is what I see daily. So if there's a divorce lawyer who's speaking out on the statistics of this is what I've seen in my 30 years of being a divorce lawyer, yeah, I'm probably going to listen to him because he's been doing this for 30 years and he's probably seen a whole, and the number one reason he said because of it was money, people arguing about finances, hiding money, whatever, and the fact that a lot of women are feeling left out or feeling like the burden is on them, and they often talk about sex and what porn has done to the community, to men, to our minds, to our women.
I say this often. In order to believe that porn has done that to us, do you think violent music and violent movies did something to us?
Yes,
definitely,
I
definitely,
Definitely.
without doubt. There's
Doc,
no
where are
doubt.
you from?
I'm from right here.
You from right here?
Yeah.
Jive, do us a favor.
We don't even need to have this discussion, bro. It's undeniable. It's like
This is an issue of perception.
Right.
This is an
Exactly.
issue.
Exactly.
In reality, when you were coming up, when I was growing up, this was a much more violent country. Violent crime rates have plummeted over the last 30 years. This isn't even an argument to be had. What year were you born?
80.
1980. Where? In Cleveland, right?
I mean, no, but
Whatever. But you're from the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
I was born in 89. I wasn't born in New York, but I moved to New York shortly after. The year I was born in New York, in Harlem alone, they have 500 murders. That's one neighborhood. If New York City had 500 murders today, that would be the biggest crisis in the fucking country. They don't have close to that. Violent crime is not, in 2026, is not what it was in 1970, not what it was in 1980, not what it was in 1990, not what it was 10 years ago. But we all have this perception of the world as just being this horribly dangerous place that it's never been before. And that's just not true. It's just flatly not true. There's less violent crime today than any other time you go back in. It doesn't matter when you want to go back. There's less violent crime. There's fewer murders. There's just the violent crime is down. But there's a perception that the world is just this horribly, you can't walk out on the street without getting murdered. It's not the case. And that's with an increase in mass shootings. They happen every day. And even still, there's less violent crime now than there has been in the past. That's just a fact of life.
That's definitely what I was going to bring up, the mass shootings. And just the mentality. Just the access to guns. You know what I mean?
So here's my thing. Like at some point in time, things don't happen in a vacuum. So I was born in the 80s. You know, he's born in the 70s. You're definitely seeing the ramp up of cocaine, but you're also seeing the ramp up of, of the type of music, of the type of stuff that becomes the accoutrement to cocaine. So you see the music, you see the visuals, you see the movies. Now you're seeing the inundation to a community, giving them visuals that are easily imitatable. Right? So that didn't happen in a vacuum. There are and were great people who took great strides to try to do something to give people different options, different roads out. It was a fight to get to where it is now. It just wasn't, there was a bunch of violent crime and now there's just not anymore because people just figured out not to do it. Something had to happen. Like I was saying, even in your thing, from a whole bunch of crime in the 90s or the 80s to now not so much crime, what happened in that space of time? Something.
And I still don't believe that.
And that's
we have to talk about
okay.
What types of violent crime reporting are you referring to when you say, well, 500 in this time period? It might have been reported differently or recorded differently or
the
gauged
uniform
differently, but like these little YNs fighting, that could be a violent crime, right? There's a lot more of that.
There's fewer murders today than there have been in 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 1999, 1989. There's fewer murders today than there were then. When I say violent crime, I'm talking about murders. There are fewer murders. You talk about the music in the 80s. Rap music in the 80s is the
violent
happiest.
crime is more than just the murders. I would say fighting is a violent crime. If you go to jail for fighting, that's not a violent crime. It's a crime of violence.
Sure,
right?
sure, but it's
so again,
it's not harmless, but
I would say it's
much
semantics.
less than murder.
It's semantics. More than just trying to win an argument. Let's deal with real facts.
Right, but here's a real fact.
The fact
murder
of the
leaves
point,
somebody
but
dead.
the point
A fight
that brought us to
doesn't.
this conversation was, it's still a violent crime, my brother. Whether it's somebody dies from it or not, and we're talking about violent crime.
Somebody dying and somebody not dying.
There's a big difference, but if it's a crime and it's violence, that's a violent crime.
Yes.
And one thing about the uniform
That's
crime
all I'm
report
saying.
from the FBI, the uniform crime report is things that have been solved or things have been convictions from it. It has nothing to do with anything that's cold or anything that has
unresolved. Right?
Yeah, any unresolved. So,
because I know for a fact, the way the music.
Yeah, and when you hear talk about drill,
the world, and these young people, and their actions and their mentality, is without a doubt.
Like I say, and even the whole, I want to say the modest. It's not even modesty, but the modesty of it. There was a time when, like I say, I remember, and it's just me growing up in Savannah. You had fights out. You might have had fights in the fair. You never had somebody bold enough to bring a gun inside the fair and start shooting in the fair. You never had somebody bold enough to bring guns inside of a mall and have a full shootout in a mall.
That's
We
why I was
had, like I
saying
say, the fights,
this is
the
a moot
everything.
conversation
It
in
was,
that
it was,
regard.
it was. I think the problem is, it was, it was just a specific group. It was down to a specific group in between a certain group or between something. Now, no one cares where you're at. It's open. You are openly shooting downtown.
Yeah, like you see
and
videos
not
all the time, people
caring.
fighting
Like I
at
said, it was a
Popeyes
mother.
and
It was a
Walmart,
daughter
crazy
and a
shit.
father that got shot in Ellis Square last year, and from a
Wow.
stray bullet, because you just opening fire anywhere. So I can say, and these are YNs who call it, who genuinely have no fear of life. And,
This
like,
is the
and these are
same
different.
thing.
Like, this is a more, and like I said, we could say it's the same thing, but I don't remember nobody in my group
No, this is what I'm
shooting
saying.
inside of a mall.
YN is just a new generation way to talk about the same thing. When Jive was a young man, they would talk about a crack baby, or they would talk about a super predator. There's always been a way to talk about young black men as these uniquely violent, vicious creatures. This isn't something new. They call them YNs now.
Nah, that's not
In the
what we're
2000s,
making.
you would
That's not
call
what
them
we're alluding
thugs.
to.
They would call them super predators. They were
That's a whole
crack
different
babies.
conversation, brother.
This is the same thing.
Mm-mm.
But now we just call
That's
them
a whole different
YNs, and we
conversation you
we can
bringing
say
into
it,
It's a whole
and
different
now
But
it's
as
not.
Josh said, it has progressively gotten worse because
It's
there's
not
no
gotten worse.
morality in it. Like I say, no matter what the gangbangers were doing when we were younger, they were not shooting in malls. We have a group who don't see anything wrong, and we got parents who are standing outside the courtroom
And it's
to
not about
fight.
trying to label them as no super predators, nothing like that, brother.
But I'm saying this
That's
is
a whole
what
different conversation.
You talk about YNs. You say YNs are remorseless. They're violent. They don't have morals. This same thing. I'm talking about YNs. We're talking about young black men. That same group of people in 1993, they would call that's a super predator. These are the young men with no
When you say
remorse,
they, when
no
you say they,
morals.
Who is they?
The people who, I mean, so I get his point.
Right
because
now, we can say YN, and it's not. Oh, it's not a racist thing. It's the same thing as calling somebody a super predator, or when they used to call them just. It was just you could go on TV and say, "Oh, the thugs," and you don't have to say it about
But I
anybody
bet-
in particular.
I bet when they say why, you know exactly who they talk
But
about.
so
This is-
let me be fair. Let me be 100% fair. To his point, that double speak was exactly what they did when they said super predator. When they said super predator, when they said thug, we knew who they were talking about. There was no confusion. They didn't mean the young college kid. They didn't mean the poor trailer park white. They meant niggas, and we knew that. And we saw what the effect what the '94 crime bill did. We're starting to get away from the point I was trying to make. But the point I'm trying to make is things have progressively gotten to a point where they are now. This isn't photosynthesis, this isn't cellular respiration. They just don't happen that way. Things happen to make them happen in order to get to where we are. So when you're looking at your phone and she could just open up her phone, the idea that the algorithm and your phone and all this elegant technology works so quickly and so in tandem that it can figure out what you're talking about and figure out a way to advertise your conversation back to you. Yes, we've always had advertising. We ain't always have that. So it got from a point where it was here, it's here now. Let's be honest about what all the mechanisms in place that it takes to get here.
My question is, what is the here? What is that like? What does here specifically mean?
The point in the present, the point in this part of history where it has progressed to
But what I'm saying,
what
when
we're
you say
experiencing
we are,
now.
But what is that exactly? Like, don't be vague. Be very particular as what it is that you're saying is as we are experiencing right now.
She just went on her phone and pulled.
So
up
there's
the dick on her phone.
so there's hyper capitalism, there's hyper individualism, there's hyper, you know what I'm saying? Like as we get further and further away from intergenerational families, we progress through into the nuclear family, we progressed into the quote unquote shared parenting. We watched. And all along those lines, as the family model got disseminated, as we watched communities become dysregulated, we watched all that happen. All of the things that happen around dysregulation are happening, and you're seeing the explosion of it right now. So even when we talk about late stage capitalism, we understand what's happening. We understand the oligarchs. We understand the power. We understand the multi-billionaires. A thing that wasn't even relatively possible 20, 30 years ago is proliferating. There's more and more of a thing that didn't even exist before. We have to admit that we got here because people did something to make now possible. It didn't just happen. It didn't just happen that you could look up porn in your pocket. That just didn't happen. You had to, back in the past, everybody's joking, you had to go do something. The something that you had to do got removed, and now it is just happenstantical.
More convenient.
So that,
much more
the
convenient.
person who took away that gate and said, let the flood waters run. That person that did this, that's an action.
At the same time, Navi earlier said that she had to like certain things to get other things off of her algorithm.
Right.
We can't at the same time believe that you can do that and that is possible,
Mhm.
and then also that the porn just happened to show up on your fucking algorithm.
It do.
Because I can go on my Facebook, I've never seen a dick on my Facebook. I've never seen a titty on my Facebook. You know where I can see that? If I go to Instagram, because specifically on Instagram, I want to see somebody shaking some ass. Anywhere else I go on the internet, I won't see it. It doesn't pop up. We can't say that you have an algorithm that's specific to you, but then that it's just showing you pornography.
So here's the thing.
Either it does or it doesn't.
Two things could be true at the same time. It can be paying attention to your commercial interest, and it can be also fun, like just like the magazine, right? Inside Jet magazine, there was Beauty of the Week, but there was also the coupons for the shit that you might want to buy.
And they did have some good stories.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was just you open up Jet magazine, Beauty of the Week, and then you close the book. There was stuff in there. There was other things happening in that book.
That's
You know what I'm
what they
saying?
said about
So-
Playboy as well. And Playboy did have great articles. Nobody picked up Jet for anything other than I want to see some ass. People picked up Playboy. Yeah, there were
No, I wouldn't say
fantastic.
that.
There was
I wouldn't say
fantastic
that.
reading in
There
Playboy.
was some good stories in there.
There's great, like I said, there's great reading in
Very-
Playboy.
and very
There is, but
relevant.
people pick up Playboy because they wanted to see some ass and some titties.
Because it's Playboy.
Right.
That was why people picked up Playboy. But yeah, Playboy also did have fantastic writers in it, doing fantastic stuff.
So
But that was why they
to add
picked it
to
up.
my
Jet
point.
might interview like Sherman Helmsley or some shit. You know what I mean? Like off the Jeffersons or something.
Right? Yeah, no,
and,
for sure.
and somebody gonna want to read that. Like, you know what I mean?
Because we didn't have cell phones, we also took the magazine to the bathroom.
We had
You know what
a
I'm
magazine
saying?
racks.
Right. So there was
Or
like,
the
yo,
bathroom.
so it was like, I also, just happenstancely, just off the subject, what I'm saying? We had really great vocabularies because you had to read shit.
You had
And
to
if you
read
didn't have
some
that,
shit,
you was
yeah.
turning around shampoo bottles and trying to sound these shits
Or
out.
cereal boxes, turning your cereal box and reading the box, the back of the box of the cereal.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So there was just something else going on, but that's not now. When I say stuff like that to like a 25-year-old, it almost sounds like I could have been telling them how life was in fucking
The dark
Egypt.
days.
Right?
yeah.
Like, oh, in ancient Egypt, they're just looking at you blinking. Like none of the words make sense to them. You did what?
Because you got to look at it. And I'm going to say for me, I'm 32. I remember being in that middle where I remember dial-up internet.
Yeah.
But I also remember
Wow.
when technology came in.
Yeah.
So anyone after me, like I say, I remember VCR tapes. I had how to wait for it to rewind. There was a time when patience was
Was
something
part of
that
the
you
equation.
had to have because you
Yeah.
had to wait for that tape to rewind. You had to wait for that cassette tape to play through, or you had to fast forward then rewind it because you done went too far into your next song that you was trying.
Yeah.
Now everything is instant right now, and there's studies on shortening the attention span.
Even DJing, my brother. I was making a point the other day of how, and I appreciate the technology for DJing. I started the whole conversation saying that. With Serato, you can push the button and bring it back to the beginning of the song, but there's still something to be said for having the record, and you gotta physically bring it back to the beginning. You know what I mean? Instead of just pushing a button and it's instant. Like so many things in our society today. To the point Bria was making. So many things are microwave popcorn ready, instant. You know what I mean? You don't gotta wait. You don't gotta. There's no anticipation or no like work to get this thing. It's like let me just go to YouTube, type in this, boom, it's right there.
So what does that do to the people that it is given to? It makes everybody want something and everyone's attention span shorter, because why wait for to court this woman and wait for to bring it back to dating world, and why wait when I can get the instant right here? Why wait to know this woman and get her mind, or why try to build
You
up
try
a
to see her
character?
shake her ass.
Oh,
I can just watch
or
this strange woman shake her ass right on my screen.
and
right
I don't
now.
have to work. I don't even got to pay this hoe.
Right.
Or
I ain't got to even
or
talk to her,
building up.
nothing,
Like I
you know
said,
what
we
I mean?
talk about men who we have a whole generation of men who money. If I throw money, they have not built a integrity. They have not built a character. They have nothing to them. They're as shallow as a glass of water, but because of this money, this all I have, and it don't matter because the right woman, she don't care about my damn character neither, because it's just instant. Everything is just instant. If I don't have to worry about my conversation or what's in my mind, because all I got to do is get this BBL, get these veneers, and slap this wig on my head, and I can make any of y'all do whatever I want to.
Not any of us, but there's a lot of them.
Oh yeah, right. A great
Right.
deal
Yeah.
to do anything I want to. I can destroy this whole household because I know what this man, and I don't just because I can. It can and it's happening now because everyone's attention span is shorter. Everybody wants something
'Cause I
right
was gonna
now.
say, like the point I was just not to cut you off.
No,
but
no,
like
we
what I was
good.
just saying, like a cat like me that's more discerning and more analytical. But I'm not the norm. I'm not
Right.
most people, right? So that's to the point that we're talking about. Like everything being so accessible, it makes people more more readily followers instead of being critical thinkers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
John, you've had a lot of people in this room, a lot of different people, a lot of different backgrounds, age groups, whatever.
Mhm.
Who's ever sat in this room and told you that they were the person that we're talking about right now?
She just did.
I'm saying are actively that person.
Oh,
I mean, we
Like,
could
are
break-
right now at this time, I am that person.
I could bring some people like that, but like I said,
Like
this
what?
is a group of people. These are a group of like-minded people. Now, if you want to go find an ignorant nigga off the street and bring him in here and have his personal, we can do that.
It's not hard to find.
It's
right?
not.
I know plenty.
I mean,
I
because
just left the block, dog.
Right, like, nigga,
I
what?
just left the block.
What?
I mean, and that's the thing, right? There are so many people because of the proliferation of these kind of behaviors and lifestyles and personalities. They find false, like, for lack of a better term, class identity and class solidarity with people because it's so visually. That dude's just like me, so there's nothing wrong with me. Especially if that dude could be like me and be monetized. That chick can be like what I'm like. She ratchet just like I'm ratchet, and she rich. That's what the sexy reds and the
Sukion.
Sukianas do. They made this not only look like it is something that can be imitated, it could be something that can be profitable. There used to
You
be,
could be
there
successful being active.
there used to be some level of shame around the way we
Sexy
behave.
Red got a lip gloss line called Chlamydia.
Let me be clear. I'm not saying that the world hasn't changed. That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, the world has changed in lots of ways, some big, some small. What I'm saying is human relations haven't changed. The way we relate to one another hasn't changed. My point is this, sticking to your point about
Yeah.
Sexy Red. If you go back 30 years when Britney Spears came out, you look at what popular magazines say about her. She was a whore. Look at the way she was dressing. Why isn't she dressing like whoever? Go back 20 years from that. Look at Madonna. What a whore. Look at the way that she's acting. Things now are at a point where everything is more bold, right? Where a Sexy Red couldn't have existed 10 years ago, but in 2026, yeah, she can exist. And in 10 years, who knows which direction it'll go? Probably more bold, right? Because that's just the way things have been going. But it's not like this isn't a conversation. This is a conversation that's new. It's not a new thing to say that the new pop star is a whore or where's her shame. That's not a new thing. Janet Jackson was, well, why isn't she more fancy like Tina? Like that's just a thing that's always existed.
To an extent. So I'm not saying that
But you gotta think of the
I'm not saying
system
that it
wanted
didn't exist
Sexy
at
Red
all,
around.
and then now it exists. I'm saying there was a level that it existed in distance, like a dull roar. Yeah, we heard about it. Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, tabloid type shit to where it is just like undeniable. This is exactly what they're doing. Take politics for a reason.
Oh,
Like
I was about to
we always went and talked about how Republicans were fascist, and it used to be just something you said that was almost just hyperbolic, which is something you said.
Because you saw the tendency.
But since you didn't see the actual fruition,
they didn't admit it. They were so good at hiding it.
right? So then we would say, yo, they're like the Gestapo. Oh, don't be so exaggerating. And then now you see them now.
And it's
When when the stops got pulled out and they could just behave the way they were behaving, it's like, didn't we say that 20, 30 years ago that this was going to happen?
And y'all said it was
and now everybody was saying it was dramatic, and we were just, and this is exactly what's happening. It's like, yo, this is what's happening, and then it's going to take some. This is the problem with it. It's going to take something so drastic and dramatic for us to say, okay, what you said in 2026 makes sense now. When it made sense in 2026. And then we got to wait till 2054 to see it like in its complete.
And then to bring it into play, like when you talk about Madonna was a movement. It wasn't a good movement, but that was her white woman liberation movement in a sense. Then you have the Britney Spears, when you see what her sexualizing, what the industry purposefully did for her, and then you bring in a Sexy Red.
Bro, we can't just go straight from Britney Spears to Sexy
No,
Red.
but I'm using the names, but you just did it.
Right, but I was just jumping from time. But everything
and I'm doing the same
progresses-
thing, and I'm doing the reason being is now you have a Sexy Red. What is her movement? Like when you look at the system and putting her in place, it wasn't that she was a pop star. She made good music. She makes terrible fucking music.
Britney Spears' music is terrible. Madonna's music was terrible.
No, but they had a certain demographic. And like I said, we talking about white women. We talking about what they're trying to do and push to us. Neither one of them had a makeup line called gonorrhea and chlamydia.
Absolutely.
You're not going to tell me that that's not a plant or a reason for that. She
Madonna
made a song,
is a plant.
My Booty Hole Brown.
Madonna is a plant. She didn't write or make any of her own music.
But that was part of a white women liberation movement. Like, I'm not speaking on the white. I'm talking about what they did and for us and our.
You're not going to want to hear it. Diane Warwick didn't write and produce her own music. A white man wrote her songs and she sang them.
And I believe that. But I'm talking about.
TLC, a white man wrote their songs and they sang them.
What's she talking about right now?
This is my point. Sexy Red is a plant. Shakira is a plant. Beyonce is a plant. TLC was a plant. Tina Turner is like the industry didn't just start doing this. This isn't a new thing. You can go from, let's take it back in time.
So
Sexy Red,
Beyonce
Nicki
and
Minaj, Beyonce. All of these things were an escalation from the thing before it, and Sexy Red is just the next escalation from the thing that came.
Because we've accepted, and they're trying to see how much we are going to accept. And as a group of people, we still have people saying, okay, well, it's always been like that. But no, because this is what they're putting in front. And like I say, with the escalation of technology, escalation of the pop stars that looking up to Beyonce, is looking up to Beyonce and Tina Turner and all these names the same as looking up to Sexy Red.
Can I say this? To both of your points, I'm thinking because you said the progression and not to go straight from Britney Spears to Sexy Red, but then you named a lot of artists maybe to fill in that progression right from Britney Spears to Sexy Red, to say that we have become more accepting of, it has become more normalized for artists to present themselves and their artistry to us in this way, right? But as a people, to Jobs' earlier point, it's the degradation of our morality, what we expect from ourselves and for ourselves, right? It's like we accept the Sexy Reds and the Sukianas and all these chicks to where now it's not a balance. It's not, it's so proliferated, this garbage, that we don't have the Whitney Houstons and the Anita Bakers to balance it now, right? It's all low vibration and very little true artistry.
Like to a point, like, and it's not just the females. It's not just the women, black women.
Right.
Like I see these. She brought up drill music. I see these young cats that's rapping, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these cats, and then I hear the defense of why these cats aren't as lyrical as yesteryear. Oh, we don't want to hear all that. I don't want to keep a dictionary with me. I'm just trying to vibe. It's illiteracy. You're trying to enshrine
down.
illiteracy with the word vibe when there's a degradation in our population's ability to read at a proficient adult level, which
The 70% adult literacy isn't a new thing though. That was a thing when cats were rapping like Nas in 1995. Like that's not new. I don't like a lot of modern rap music. I don't like it. I think it sounds like shit. Do I think that there's some marked difference between drill music and Scarface in 1991 making a song talking about killing his friend because his friend called him a bitch one time on accident? Not really. I think the Scarface music sounds better. I think it has more of a connection to black music that came before it. But do I think there's a difference in the content of it? Not really.
I mean, there's absolutely a difference in the content. The difference in the content is that was an artist who I believe, and just and listened to him over the years, that he understood the art of oration. He understood the art of storytelling.
Yeah,
He understood this was an author who was creating. Like the author is not the speaker. Like this is not real life. Nobody died in the making of this song. I'm just emoting ideas and getting concepts out. Like when you listen to "Niggas Bleed" by Biggie Smalls, did he create an Ocean's 11's team to actually write that song? Or was that just his imagination?
Is it
And his
but why are
ability
we-
to do so.
Why are we crediting because you like it them with having imagination, but these cats making drill
Because
music
these
have
drill
none?
music kids are killing people and
Listen.
writing the song about the murder that they just committed. That's not the same
X-Rated
thing.
been in prison for 30 years for that. Mac Dre went to prison for 10 years for that. Like that's not something new.
But it's not. It's proliferation, sir. The point of it is, It doesn't have to go from zero to something in order for us to recognize there is an arc, right? So it went
And
from
even-
some to many.
And
So in the some part, we had a problem. Now we're in the many, and we can't go. Well, there was always some.
But what is the many though? Like you say,
but
it's
I cannot like I said, NBA YoungBoy, and I use him as an example because there are the statistics, and he even had an interview where he said, "I know that my music, and I know that my music is responsible for a lot of deaths because it's what they listen to." Have you ever heard of NBA YoungBoy song?
Yeah.
Not just the lyrics, and it's not storytelling. It's not storytelling. It's just I'ma blow his shit. Like it's so that shit hard.
I was showing my ass.
No, it's a song like if he run, I'ma blow his shit off and don't like and if you like I say being around them and seeing how that shit light they ass up and hype, and then like I say
Yeah,
they
get
listen
'em
to that
hype.
shit all the day.
Hell yeah.
Us, we had a mixture of music.
A
We brought this up
balance.
at lunch or at dinner on Valentine's Day when, like I said, BET was full of different genres, and you had to listen to India RE to get to that new Lil Wayne. When he had CDs, you had to listen to or you had to get these CDs. Now on my phone, on this phone, I don't have to wait to listen to nothing else. If I want to listen to Killing from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I have the option. And what is that? That is nothing but an affirmation.
Mental
Now
conditioning.
all I'm saying is I want to kill somebody, or even down to the drug shit. If I want to listen to a person talking about drink super gremlin, I knew that perk was fake, but I still ate it because I'm a gremlin. And you see his mouth twitching and shit, and you see how this opiate or this fentanyl epidemic and how big it's moving, or how even my doctor, my gynecologist, Bria, chlamydia is fucking everywhere right now. They've taken sex education out of school, so sex is pushed, but we not even teaching them, and parents not teaching them. So it's all of it collected. We can sit up here and individualize every topic that we just touched on, but all of that shit works together. And when it all works together, it magnifies it. Now, back then, you can separate, but now everything and this phone and the option of if I don't want to listen to nothing else positive, I don't have to
When I was a
because
kid,
this can do everything.
when I was a kid, I had a bunch of cassettes. And the only thing I would ever listen to was Mobb Deep, and I would listen to the Scarface tape I had. I wouldn't listen to anything else. I wouldn't listen to anything else. That was it. Replay all day. I would go to sit on the school bus with my fucking cassette and my little headphones on.
And how were
Play
you
the Mobb
living?
Deep
How were
tape.
you living?
I was living the same life that I would live if I wasn't listening to that. That didn't change my life. We were still
But
broke.
just because
we
it
were still
affect you
poor.
that way
Like I say,
doesn't
that's
mean it
true.
doesn't
Because like I
affect
say,
other
tell that
people
to a
that way.
person who was in the projects who all they heard was that and all they saw was that.
Yeah, let me ask you.
So
this,
now let
brother.
me go into
So are
that.
you saying when you say that? Are you saying that to say that because it didn't do that to you, that it
I'm
doesn't
saying
do
it
that
doesn't
to
do
other
that
people?
to anybody. I'm saying that violent music, violent shows, violent games don't change anybody in any direction.
It doesn't influence people. You don't think it doesn't?
No.
So what about so to her point, what about the people who say it influenced me? What do you say? No, it didn't.
Cause I'm gonna let you know
I
I
think
know
it's a
some
good
niggas right. Cause
excuse.
no, I know some niggas right
Okay,
now.
so
be
then-
like,
so then-
listening to Bootsy, shit,
so
that shit
then-
had me out here
so-
doing drill music.
Let me
So that-
put it, let
okay,
me
go
put
ahead,
it
go ahead,
this
go ahead.
way. It's like the men nowadays are being more tapped into that, like, I want to kill some shit, I want to fuck some shit up. Because that music is the only way that they can be vulnerable, right? So, like, when I listen to Nardo Wick, right, I'm thinking automatically, oh, I'm about to go fuck some shit up. Somebody look at me wrong, what's up? What we doing? But if I listen to like
Thundercat.
a female version to put me into my like my nice aura or whatnot, like I listen to her to keep me in my soft girl era, I'll become more feminine to where I don't need to live in that survival
because
thing.
your thoughts,
Yes,
your mentality, your
it's
vibe.
like I can listen to an R&B singer with a rapper like that I know that talks about guns and stuff, but I'm not focused on the man. I'm more focused on the woman because I prefer melodic stuff. So it's really, yeah, I do think music definitely does influence in some certain actions that we partake in.
I
nowadays.
think
And it
that's
depends
what
on a
it
weak
is,
mind.
right?
Like if you have an influential mindset,
Right.
I'll
It-
say it like
it's
this. It doesn't even
going
have to be like that. Like, look, if I listen to "Dear Mama" by Tupac, I'm calling my mama. He's just gonna put me in that space.
Yeah, like I gotta check on
because
my
I'm
mama.
going to hear those words. I'm going to see those words in my
and
mind,
hear
It's gonna
how his
evoke some
voice
thoughts
and
into
then
you,
it's going to
and hear
provoke
his voice
thoughts,
and how it.
and the depth and the energy. And I'm going to be like, hey. Sometimes if I hear it
'Cause
come on
music
by
is
accident,
emotion. Music is emotion.
right?
Over
There's
melody.
sometimes
And I
I
mean,
would
I-
hear his music and I turn it off because like I know what that's gonna make me feel like.
Yeah, you know.
I don't want to feel like crying about my mama right now. I love my mama, but right now I don't want to cry about my mama. So
my thing
I gotta
is,
turn this off.
I listen
And if
to,
I listen to Megan Thee Stallion after my man cheat, I might go start fucking cheating.
And
I'm
if
just
I
letting
listen
you know.
and
Like
if I listen
that
to
bitch done
some
crunk me up.
if I listen to some damn DMX, y'all gonna make me lose my
Mama.
mind.
I might start
Up in
growling
here.
around this bitch.
Like,
So
okay.
so I say that to say the idea that we live above influence is just that's not a
I'm
true.
not saying that music can't change your mood. Music can't. You put some Michael Jackson on, I'm gonna fucking start moving. It's just, it's a funky beat. It makes me move. What I'm saying is, we're blaming drill for this. Let's agree, whether it's true or not. Let's agree that there were more murders in 1980s than there are today.
I mean,
What did rap sound like? What did
rap
rap sound like in
epidemic, though.
1980? The Sugar Hill Gang went from the studio recording that song and dodged bullets all the way home because there were far more murders in Harlem in 1981 than there are in
Okay, we
2020.
got to talk about the crack epidemic though. What
Right,
crack,
but this is my point.
Go ahead.
Music doesn't make this happen. Why were there more murders? Because the government was bringing crack in.
Okay,
This is something that actually happened that
and I
causes
could bring-
murders.
and I could bring that around. Okay, they brought crack in, right?
Yes.
Crack created this big old mass killing, murdering, drugs, the movement. They found a way to, now we don't have to do that anymore. We don't, because guess what? Anything with drugs now, I tell anybody, any street nigga out there, the drug game been over since the 90s. Everything the police now. That's how I look at it. But now it's just shifted to where it doesn't have to be that extreme anymore. Because if you look at fentanyl has a big movement, but the movement not as strong as because crack was new. Like that was a whole new scene. Like it was just the way
And it was
social media.
priced differently.
Yeah, and it was just different. Like you gotta look at the time period, and this is the first time
You get fucked
something
up for
like this.
$5.
pushed in. Like my father would tell me the story. He's like, I remember when they bought dope in Savannah. He said, bro, I can remember that in the 80s when they came from Florida and they bought that shit in and what it did. Because that was the first time. Because it's like a bomb being dropped off. Like it's going to have a big mushroom cloud when it happened.
To my point, there was a time before the crack epidemic. There was a time before the opiate epidemic.
There was a time for the AIDS.
There was a time before that, and if we're going to pretend that there's no stimulus that you could put into an economy or put into a community that could create outcomes.
Let me just
then that forgives COINTELPRO. That forgives the
interrupt
FBI.
you for a second.
Go ahead.
There was a time before crack. Nobody blames rap music in the 80s for crack. But why? Because the music doesn't sound like and doesn't have anything to do with crack. They're not talking about crack. They're not talking about gangs. They're not talking about murder in the 80s music, in the 80s rap music. So nobody blames that for crack and what crack did.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, and not even just right now, you can take it back to whenever time you want to, when hardcore rap became a thing. People then start blaming hardcore rap for these societal problems. When hardcore rap exists because of, right, it's a byproduct of what already exists. Is it pushed? There's no question, no doubt.
It as well.
I disagree. There's definitely.
What about people that didn't know about it, but because they hear the music, now they're aware of it?
Of crack?
Yes. Everybody don't live where crack is at.
Right.
Suburbia, I'm not going to say it wasn't touched by crack.
Here's my point,
it wasn't
though.
definitely as affected by the crack epidemic as the inner city. You know what I mean?
This is the thing.
Manifestation of that culture and that mindset.
In places with more money, if you go back and look at things that were in the 80s things, it's cocaine instead. It's not crack. It's crack because crack was cheap. You could take cocaine and make much more crack out of it.
Often in these discussions, you digress from.
No, I'm not. This is the point. My point is, suburbia it wasn't a crack problem. It was the cocaine problem. The cocaine was in the 80s and the late 70s.
There was talking about no fucking cocaine, though, dog.
Crack is cocaine. The crack came from the cocaine.
Cocaine, right? Cocaine, blow, powder.
Yes.
Different than cocaine.
No, crack is cocaine. You make crack from cocaine.
Exactly, but it's a different product.
This is what I'm telling you, though.
Once you heat it turns into a different.
But this is what I understand. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Different things.
The reason why in
cocaine was much more expensive in this.
This is my point. The reason why in black communities it's crack is because you can take cocaine and make much more crack out of it. The reason why in white neighborhoods and white communities where there's more money, it's cocaine, because you don't have to do that. They'll buy the cocaine. They can afford the cocaine. Black communities can't afford the cocaine.
To people what crack did to people, because once you heat it up and you do it, it creates a different subject, and they did it for that purpose.
Exactly.
To do what it did.
So to the point, right? There was a point where did we always have some sort of issues in the black community? Yes. It was just the truth. There's always been a concerted effort to dismantle African American economic progress. We could talk about the Tulsa. We could talk about what they did to Central Park in New York. You could talk about all the black cities that are now underwater because of a dang lake that they put right there. We could talk about all those things. All those things are concerted efforts by somebody who did something to make something happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That means there wasn't a thing that was happening. That's the zero. And then there is something that's happening. So there's an uptick. Right? So when we get to the point where, go to the immediate point, the original point, there was a point where there was always kind of a low-level bit of porn floating around. Right? But you had to do shit to get to it. You kind of had to go somewhere. You had to go behind a curtain. You had to brave it. You kind of had to get over your feelings of anxiety or guilt or whatever. You had to do something. There were social stigmas.
Watch it on your mama's TV while your mama home.
Yeah, there was just stuff you had to do. And the idea of putting a tape in the VCR when there's only one VCR in this entire house.
You know why the VCR beat out the Betamax? Because porn was on the VCR. Why DVDs beat out whatever? Because porn was on the DVDs. Why Blu-ray beat out the HD DVD? Because porn was on.
But this is the point I'm trying to make. The thing that made it easier.
Yes, you can get porn easier now. Yes.
So the thing
my
that made
thing
it
is,
easier.
What is
so,
the outcome of that?
So the outcome is the same thing, and this is another thing that I say it happens with women in social media. The outcome is the proliferation normalized what you're seeing to the point where I can't experience my reality without that thing being the catalyst for what I'm seeing. So I can't experience a normal sexual relationship because I got Pinky and her performance in my mind. And now I have wait, because I listen. I have an inability to, and this is studies. This is not me saying it.
And I
definitely do. I definitely do that.
And like I say,
because
I've had
in college I took this like sociology.
You went to college 20 years ago.
Well, the study was the studies. Well,
right, but that's a different. But that's a
Rotary,
different study.
nigga. Rotary.
Okay, well, let's just do the groundwork. I've experienced that in a relationship, and I know other women who've experienced in a relationship, and just so happen a divorce lawyer of 30 years talks about this is what he's seen more recently in his field of profession. That porn, to everything you find.
I mean, it has an ability to warp your perception of what sexual satisfaction is. We understand that. There's studies that prove that. I will spend the rest of the week finding it and showing it to you.
Please do.
And sometimes,
but we also,
some
and
people are
it's not even about statistics. Do the groundwork. Do the groundwork.
But there's also what we're seeing now in the relationships that social media is giving women a hyper commercialized view of what romantic success is supposed to look like, and they can't experience relationships with their normal, everyday, average, working class relationship without grading it against what they have seen highly stylized.
Is that a thing anymore?
What do you mean?
Normal working class relationship? I don't even think that's a thing anymore, man.
Right,
you meet chicks are like, what you gonna do for me? You gotta pay this, you gotta pay that.
Like there was a time like when you understood getting a black woman and a black man, working class people understood that when we come together, we're putting our finances together and we're gonna raise these kids together and we're gonna do these things. Were there issues and were there problems? Because we're humans, yes. Were there things that men need to understand? Like you said, and women have been beating this drum for a very long time. Look, I came home from work just like you came home from work, but you expect this, and then that. That is an honest conversation that we should have been having, didn't have. We really need to come to the table and go, yeah, man, the 80s was a crazy time. I thought I could get away with some shit and I couldn't. But now it's coming to reckon. And there are things that we just understand now, right? And so now you see black men are more active with their children than any other demographic, right? So we have to understand that there was a point where that wasn't happening. Women made a complaint. Women said something. Some things happened, and men started to step up in a way that shows up in the numbers. It just shows it. So we can't just be like, well, no, niggas was always. No, that's not the truth. Everything wasn't always as it is now. Something happened. We wear shoes now. These shoes didn't always wear. At some point, most niggas was walking around without shoes. Something had to happen. At some point, we couldn't get on the same bus to get to the same school that somebody else. Something had to happen. It wasn't always the way it was. And we do history a disservice, and the present people who are making the world the way it is a great favor by pretending that it always was, so we do not interrogate the systems that create what is now.
I have never said that everything is as it always was. That's not been my point. And if that's what I've come across as saying, that's not what I'm saying.
Because it seemed like
that's not what I'm saying.
Because every argument that was it's been like that before.
Right.
Every argument
that was
that's exactly
response.
what you said.
It almost to negate the point presented. And I was just trying to wrap my mind around it, but when it kept being that,
because even down to there was the Madonna and there was Britney Spears and then when I said Madonna, Britney Spears and Sex Ray, you said that's a big jump. Nigga, you just used the same thing.
Exactly. That's
So
why I described. Okay, the same progression she was referring to is the one you were referring to, but you named more names. But
And then you,
that
then you went back
idea,
and went to naming more
that
names.
was the same
like,
idea, the same concept. You know what I mean? Maybe
Let me try to be
we said with porn.
very
So-
clear about this. Let me try to be very clear about this.
that's the best.
When
way
I
to be.
say that the thing about Sexy Red has been true, you go back anytime looking at female musicians. I'm not saying every female musician is like Sexy Red. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the conversation about these female musicians has been the same. It has always been that these women are too underdressed. They're whores. They talk about sex in a way they're not supposed to talk about sex.
And maybe now these artists today have leaned into that, and that may be to their advantage or detriment, depending on how you look at it.
And
because
it
they might
was a
get more followers.
performance because even in an interview, they were always able to, and like to Jive point about literacy, they always were able to at least speak and explain their art. Now it's not art. Now this is what I am. This I can't even explain that. I'm just gonna be loud. Sukiyana sucking on her toe, like in on. This is. It's not a joke. Like it's not even art anymore. This is what we're pushing as.
Low vibration.
This is who we are.
Right.
Except who I am. It's not Madonna putting the cones as her breast and she's doing a material girl and she's making her statement. Or
Because
Nicki
it was so
Minaj doing
outlandish.
her big fake booty, but then still talking and still, because she was always articulate. She always had her,
I'm sorry.
and it was always a performance because she was known for performing. All of them, like Beyonce, it was a performance. Her Sasha fit, but she was always able to come, and you can see the duality in them. Where is the duality now? Because I don't see Sexy Red dressing up and then having an interview. I hear her talking about, oh yeah, I be fucking raw.
Trying to say some crazy shit.
Right. I'm pushing out a lip gloss line that it has my name on it called chlamydia and gonorrhea. I couldn't find no other name for it.
Shock value.
I couldn't do. So we can't, like, they've all, of course, the narrative, because if you want to speak on the white aspect of it, anything we do, they've tried to put
Oh man.
a word or a stigma or something negative about it. Or if you want to talk
They
about
love it so much and try to copy it.
a man's world, anything a woman has done, they're gonna put a negative note to it. But what we are seeing, what is accepted now, not as art, but as an acceptable way to be in society. It's okay.
So here's my thing. Here's another thing to it, right? Because you made this argument, like, does hip hop by itself do entice people to create? No, I'll no. By itself, if you could put hip hop in a vacuum, by itself, much like a gun that just sits on a table, does a gun kill people by itself? No. But the factors that happen around it are definitely the things that enhance it. You could take all the dang, workout supplements you want. The workout supplements up and into testosterone, whatever, steroids. They don't put muscle on your body. There has to be some work done in order to make these things react into your body. There has to. So does hip hop by itself do it? No. But when you put it into a system of hyperviolence, when you put it into a system of drug products.
This is my problem with what you're saying.
Go ahead.
This is my problem with what you're saying on this one point specifically.
Okay, go ahead.
In the earliest days of hip hop and before hip hop, there was more murder.
Mm-hmm.
This is just uncontestable fact. There were more murders. Hip hop has over time gotten more violent. There is less murder. How can we then say that hip hop is part of the problem when, as hip hop gets more violent?
No. So
murder.
here's the thing. Hip hop didn't become more violent as hip hop became
much more violent.
through the 90s. But when you get into the 2000s, hip hop became much more
I'm talking about
materialistic.
today. We're talking about drill music. Is this
He's
horrible?
about-
Oh yeah. So
He's about-
drill music is a particular phenomenon, right? That's a particular genre that has a responsibility to the people who hear it and are influenced by it. But
Talk about the early 2000s. Go to
yeah, so when you're hearing the early 2000s, when you're hearing the Nellies and you're hearing all that
the
stuff,
Shaggies. It was
you're not hearing this. This is a thing, and we have to realize, yes, we came through some stuff, and just like trends, there's a dip, and sometimes it comes back up. It's not just mx plus b equals y, whatever that damn slope rise over run. It's not always just a perfect ascension.
Yes.
And sometimes it comes down, it spikes. So
point
as we
being-
watched a dip, we also watched a spike.
But
So why can't
the
we-
spike that we're talking about doesn't go to the spike to the plateau of what it was. It was here. Things are here now generally. The line doesn't go above here anymore. This is where things were in the early days of hip hop. This is where things are in 2026.
It depends on what you call the early days of hip hop.
Yeah, but
right?
if you
The
want to
late
talk about the
70s,
crack,
early
because
80s.
if you talk about the
What
crack
you define as
epidemic, yeah.
violent crime.
I'm talking about murders. When I say violent crime, I'm specifically talking about
And
murder.
there's
But
much
you
more to
can't
violent
compare
crime than just
crack
murders.
crime to right now,
But
because that
this
was
is
the
my-
begin. Okay,
but this is
okay.
my
Listen,
point.
listen. When a bomb is dropped, right? The bomb is dropped. You see the mushroom cloud. Of course, right then it is a wide group of murders. Areas outside, miles outside of that, they got leukemia. That is the radiation. That is what you don't really see. We are in the radiation. No, crack was the bomb. Crack was the mushroom cloud. What you are seeing is the fallout from that. You can't compare crack crime, because right then you had
But this is my
Griselda
point.
Blanco, you had it was things that layered
This
that.
is my point, though. We're attributing to hip hop. We're attributing to movies. We're attributing to porn problems that are not caused by those. These are things
Not
that exist.
attributing to them, saying they're being amplified by them, has been the
But when we
topic
talking, when
for
we
the
say we
entire
can't
night.
compare crack to something else,
But
when we're
can we agree that these existences today, the way the music is and the way the movies are, the subject matter being so limited, is not influencing these young people?
And
to
the
act-
mixture,
I won't agree with
the
no.
mixture of it. Like I said, right now, if you want to not only listen to drill music, if I want to turn on Tubi and watch nothing but hood movies where it's nothing but niggas snaking each other, I have the option to not have anything positive around me if I want to. Back then, you had to go through different levels to
But
get
why
to
are we
that
not talking
point.
instead about racist housing policy, racist districting, where you don't have access to food,
That all-
you don't have
that
access
all
to jobs.
played a
All of these
played
things are much
into
more
it.
important. Are much more important and have much more to do.
But that
The
still doesn't
biggest
negate
consumer,
fact
the
that-
biggest consumer of hip hop, period, is white kids, white people, white teenage boys and girls. We don't talk about white teenage boys and girls. White people kill each other way more than black people do.
is that
We
part
don't
of
talk
violent
about
crime?
yes, but we don't talk about that. They listen to more hip hop than anybody else, but we don't talk about, well, look at what hip hop did to them. You know why? Because the things that when it's black people, we have to point it. It's our fault. Look at the music we've made. Look at what we've done.
No, we're not saying
look at
that
what
at all.
they have done. They've created the housing.
That's
They've
you
created the
saying.
poverty. They've
You
created the
saying.
joblessness. This is what causes the crime and the murders. This is it.
We're saying
There's
that's a
hip-hop.
contributing factor, because if you, and I said that before, when you said, oh, I've listened
It
to nothing but
amplifies
Mobb
the
Deep
mindset.
and I've listened to this, and I said, how were you raised? Because that same music for you could have done something completely different from this boy who lived in the projects, who's subject to poverty, who's subject to the violence. Because
can
guess what?
relate
When
more
I
so
walk,
to what Mobb Deep was
exactly, when I
talking
walk
about.
out my door,
not a
I
fantasy
see
to him. He
somebody
lived
getting
that.
shot or robbed across the street from me.
I grew up in a
And
New York
it-
project.
And it
Like I grew up in a New York City project.
good for you. I'm
So
talking
what I'm
about
saying is,
right what I've seen.
Proximity doesn't mean you're part of it, though, necessarily.
but this is what I'm saying.
You could be the good.
You're saying, well, somebody who grew up. I am that kid who grew up in the New York City project. This is what I'm saying.
But you could be
My
that kid
point
that your
is
mama ain't let
the
come outside.
My point
You know
is
what I mean?
the
Just 'cause you
issue
live in the
isn't
project don't mean
the
you a
issue
project
isn't
nigga.
the
That
music.
part.
You know what
The
I mean?
issue isn't
Like,
the music
don't
that you're
play.
listening to in the project. The issue is the project. Like, why are we talking about anything else other than the project?
So here's the thing.
The issue
here's
is
the thing.
the project.
Here's the thing. I mean, so to the point of the I was trying to make, and it's gonna come to you, right? The point I'm trying to make, like, the workout is the main thing. The supplements you take are just that, supplemental, but they do their job of enhancing outcomes. So if I take creatine, if I take protein, it'll enhance outcomes that traditional methods will take longer to achieve.
Right.
The supplements by themselves don't do a thing without the initial major input. So again, does hip hop without redlining, without deindustrialization, without school busing, without the all of it, does it do what it does without all of those things in play too? No. This is not an either or thing. It's and two. In addition to all of these factors, when you throw this in the mix, we get an amplification. And if we understand anything about capitalism, 3% growth over year over year is good enough. That's actually optimal. So if I can optimize my prison intake by 3% year over year, and hip hop music is going to help that happen, run it. Does it do it by itself? No. But when we put everything in the mix and we have that major thing, joblessness, resourcelessness,
Fatherless.
we have all these major things, and you know what helps? Like, I wash my clothes, right? You know, I like to put those little scent boosters in there. Now, the detergent is doing the work, but I put them scent boosters in there, man. It just smells that much better. Dude, I can't put scent boosters in there and have clean clothes. That's not what they do. But if I put it in there with that, it enhances my clean.
So what's the analogy?
You know what I'm saying? So when we're looking at what we're seeing, there is an enhancement from what was to what is, and there are certain supplements that have been put into the system to create more equitable outcomes for some of the worst human beings in the world.
And I guess this is a topic for another podcast, but
Yeah.
just the fact that the music industry admittedly, undeniably catered more to that subject matter, the violence, the low vibration.
I mean, you heard what's his name, Cohen, say, no, I wouldn't produce this for white people. It's cool to make it for black people. It's cool to do that and make my money, but no.
And then when you
it's okay to have a black man talk about murdering black men. Would you sign a black man talk about murdering white men? Answer: absolutely not.
And then the white kids are listening to it. One thing about it, everybody like to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's not gonna affect me because I'm gonna get a slap on the wrist for doing what this music say. But that nigga, they about to get
life.
Like we
without
saw a rich, maybe a decade ago, already now, a young white man, rich, steal his father's car and run over and kill 4 people. He got off because his lawyer said he had affluenza. That he was so rich that he was so used to not having any consequences to his actions. How could we introduce consequences now? Now, mind you, just a few days ago, a black man was given 37 years for when his son stole his car and ran over and killed a few people. And his father got 37 years in prison. There's something happening. There's a difference. We're here, and then here happened. What happened between here and here? That's a process. That's just not naturalness, right? That's just not, soil
That sound like-
erosion. That's a system that is put in place. Things don't happen. People do things to make them happen.
That sounds like obvious bias.
That's obvious bias, right? So there's an obvious bias in how we perceive what crime is, who's able to be considered a criminal when they commit crimes, right? Because this little boy killed 4 people and he was treated like a victim.
They
Like
took the-
that somehow
Because of the
affluence.
narrative that was
Right.
created
There was a
defend-
narrative that was created before that white boy existed that protected him. There's a narrative that existed before we were created that indicts us.
Mhm.
If we keep pretending like there's a parallel, we have to do that thing when you watch a movie. You have to suspend some realities in order to make these two things equal out.
And then when you think
And there's no equation to what a Madonna did to what a Sukiyana did, even if they did the exact same thing. I'll give you an example.
they sexualize them white take schools. It's these little gym skirts that these little white girls could wear. They gym little skirts. And when I say the little fingertip test they make us do, you know what I'm talking about? They wear that shit to school. We wear that shit. Oh, and they doing it at my daughter's school. And you can see the bottom of their behind because it's okay. But then, like I say, for a sexualized little black girl, she can't wear, even though it's the same thing. She's doing it because she's playing tennis, but she's completely sexualized. She looks
Inappropriate.
grown.
She's fast.
She's fast.
Mhm.
Do the fingertip test. Oh, that's too short for you. I seen that.
What I want y'all to understand is just that, like, these kids nowadays, they're growing up too fast because they're seeing what the adults are doing.
They have too much access to what adults are doing.
Like, bro, you don't see Beyonce's kid doing the same thing that Northwest is doing.
Because they would crucify Beyonce.
Well, so I'll say it like this.
But Beyonce grew up in a multicultural home as well. Whereas
Well, she grew up a little bit more affluent than the rest because her people was already doing shit. So here's the thing. Like, I'll give you a better example. Northwest mother, Kim Kardashian, made a sex tape, right? That was the creation of her. It was the
put her on
creation of
map.
her thing,
That put her
right?
on the map. Word up.
Lawrence Fishburne's daughter did the exact same thing, bar for bar.
I remember that.
Lawrence Fishburne's daughter made a sex tape, and that shit,
Or
it was the most ridiculed. Lawrence Fishburne had to go
Vanessa
around and get
Williams.
other people to and give money to him to try to help him retrieve the footage.
Vanessa Williams, didn't she win like Miss America? And because she had like, it was a photo of her topless or something, they stripped her of her title.
Yeah, I think
and,
she was in Playboy or something like that.
And they
She had
stripped
that.
her of her title. They completely crucified her.
So there is, like, when you make those parallels between what white women were doing and what black women are doing, it doesn't play out. I mean, because there's a redemption for white women who step outside of their thing. They can always be invited back into the fold of whiteness, and they can be fine. But there is no redemption for black people when they.
My point was
Okay.
not comparing what they were doing. My point was how they were spoken of. This
Mhm.
is just how women who make music and have any kind of sexuality are treated. That was my point. My point was not what Madonna did is comparable, or if the point we have to make is that white people don't like black people and are going to do racist things towards them, I agree.
I have a better.
100%.
I have a better.
But
I have a better-
wait, before you go, I just want to, because you were saying something. You were saying that no, you're not saying that it always was the way it was. Like, I want you to go in, because that's where we kind of like veered off when you were saying I'm not trying to say that if that's what it sounded like, and I want you to start from there.
Can I give my example real quick? Because I'm
Please
not.
do.
Okay.
Black man.
Okay. Lay out the timeline. Timeline. We at Tulsa, black people trying to come up. We gonna snatch that how we do that. We got Malcolm X. Malcolm X died 65 years yesterday. It would have been. I realized Malcolm X died in 65. My mama was born in 62. So that's really 63. That's my grandmother. So Malcolm X was my grandmother's time. Then you have the Black Panthers, which was more my mother's time. They made the Black Panthers the national what like a whole what America's like a hate group essentially. So from there, what do we do to stop them to keep this is where the system really pushes in because again, projects was not meant for black people. Affordable like healthcare, all of that shit was not meant for black people. After the Black Panthers, we have to do something to stop this growth. So what do? We're gonna bring crack in. We're gonna bring guns in. We're gonna bring a mass incarceration. We are going to do everything to take because what crack did, either you in the crime bill and their Reagan's war on drugs, what it did was either you and take jobs away because what all most of the jobs that's when technology came in, that's when they put women in the household. If you want to get any of these subsidies, you need to put that black man out. So the black man out in the street, either I'm gonna sell drugs to make money and go to jail because of this crime bill, or I'm gonna do the drugs, get on overdose, whatever. Those are my options. Then you bring in, now we've destroyed the black man.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Can I interrupt you? Do you mind?
No.
'Cause I think what you said is, I think, a perfect way to illustrate what I'm trying to say. When I say that the way humans relate to each other hasn't changed, this is what I'm talking about, exactly what you're saying. Let's take two groups, white people and black people in this country. Our relation to one another has not changed since we first got off that fucking first boat. Has not changed one bit from then to now. What specifically has happened is different. We're not enslaved anymore, right?
13th Amendment, mass incarceration, we still are.
This is listen to what I'm saying. We're not enslaved anymore. There's a change. Things have changed, but the basic relationship between white and black people didn't change. The basic relationship of white dominate black didn't change. You have the pre-civil rights movements of the tens and teens and the 30s. There's black progress, but the basic relationship between white and black doesn't change. You have the civil rights movement, 40s, 50s, 60s. What happens with black people make progress. There's civil rights acts, there's black progression. The basic human relation between black and white people hasn't changed.
Surface
You have the
level-wise, it has.
you have the black power movement in the 70s and the 80s. The basic relation, black people make more progress. The basic relationship between black and white people, the human relation between these two groups hasn't changed one bit. It's still white dominate black. You have whatever you want to call the 90s to now. There's been more black progress. The basic relationship between black and white people hasn't changed. When I say that the human relations hasn't changed, the way that we relate to each other hasn't changed, I'm not saying that the forms it take aren't different. I'm not saying that, what's the word I want to use? I can't think of it. Right now in 2026, everything is very blunt. everything that what it is what it is, right? Sexualized women's music looks like Sexy Red now. It's disgusting. The president, he's not doing things that George Bush wasn't doing, but George Bush had a front on. He had a decorum to him. Donald Trump doesn't have a decorum. He can say what he wants. He's saying and doing the same things George Bush did, even less than what George Bush did. But he does it now with a bravado and an upfrontness. But the relation between two different groups, America and the Middle East, the human relations of these people hasn't changed since 1950. It's still Western capitalists dominating Middle Eastern countries. It's
But the point that you cut me off of was when we got to the 2000s, now we have to stop the movement from getting there, to stop it from reaching a certain height. And how did you do it? By creating a system to manipulate to where it wouldn't. We can't, yes, like I said, run by a male dominated country, any woman that expresses herself is going to be seen a certain way. But Sexy Red is not. She stands out from that group, and the Sukiyana stand out from that group because now it's not about the art of it. It's about this is what I want little girls to emulate. This is the system pushing this, not on the art side, because guess what? Trina was around, but I never wanted to be Trina. I never wanted to be Trina on Celebrity Day. Because I knew damn well my mama wasn't going for me listening to no damn Trina. Right now, Sexy Red is on the radio. Sexy Red is commercialized. There was BET After Dark for a reason. Now it's here. Now, like I said, this is a part of the system to destroy what left we have. This is more mental, is what we're saying.
But on BET during the daytime, they would play, what's that fucking Nelly song? Tip Drill. They would play the
Tip Drill
music
was
video.
not during the day. Tip Drill was.
I have seen. They would play
never
these.
seen Tip
These
Drill
would be.
during
Even
the
if
day.
they
These would
did,
be. But listen.
even if
but
they did,
listen
that
to
was
what I'm
one
saying.
song.
But
Now
listen
it's
to what I'm
every
saying.
song with
I've
that
never
subject
heard
matter.
Tip Drill.
This is
during
just
the day.
one
I heard
example.
Tip Drill.
These
And
videos
that's
would
one
be
song, but
BET
would
every
they
night.
cut
her
and
point-
edited around the parts where they would have naked women doing whatever, shaking ass and doing whatever. They'd be cut and edited around those and censored where they could be. So that was what
And that was
men
on
were.
TV where you
But
had
this
to
is.
look at it.
But
Now
this is
I don't
what
have
men
to look
were
at it anymore.
allowed to do 20 years ago. Men were allowed to be as vulgar as Sexy Red is now 20 years ago. The form is different, but the vulgarity is the same. They were allowed to be that vulgar. Now it's the form is different now. Sexy Red calls her lipstick or lip gloss or whatever gonorrhea, but it's just the vulgarity of it is now because again, we're not 20 years ago. We're in a more vulgar time today.
That's the whole point this whole thing has been about, dog.
But my point is, vulgarity isn't vulgarity
Yeah, right.
isn't a material condition. It's just vulgarness. It's not a thing that
I'm glad we're on
that
the
shapes
same
or changes.
page. I'm glad we're on the same. No,
I've
But
never
like you
said
said,
anything different.
The fact that you made a point a second ago when you're talking about how things haven't changed as far as the white and black relationship and its white domination. That's because of systemic racism
Yes.
is in place, right? So I mean, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. That's the underlying factor for why the subject matter has been limited now to low vibration bullshit, to mislead the masses intentionally, to keep them from being critical thinkers, you know what I mean? And thinking beyond lust and material gain, you know what I mean? But they could take it all.
Stop calling me. Jesus. No, that's my baby daddy. Fucking sickening. But but it's because right now, like I said, we had other things to look at. This is little girl. We don't have the beauty of the different genres or the beauty of
so many options
So
like
many
we had
options.
back in
Like
the
I
day.
said, we had the you remember
And
the
it's
neo
intentional.
soul,
It's intentional.
neo soul. We had the music soul
Yeah, it's
styles.
intentional.
You had to listen to everything to get to there. And like I say, like you said, on TV they may have censored it. Guess what? Who the fuck is watching anything censored now?
Right.
So it because
Anything.
it's there.
It's readily available.
It
It's
was
accessible.
beautiful that we had to sweep to see it.
Like we don't even have MTV no more.
So because now I can look up anything on this phone, even if I don't need it. I can say I'm looking for the clean shit and the dirty shit still come on. Look, you pulled up your phone, a wagging dick in the front of your face, and you trying to find that new Jesus
I'm
out.
not even moving like that on my phone.
Dang. It's
All
rough
right,
out here
guys,
in
it
these,
was
these streets.
awesome. It was so
Peace.
fucking
Yeah, I'm about to go
fly.
ahead and close this down. We had a dope conversation.
Yeah, it was
All
dope.
right,
It
Hey
was dope.
yo.
Huh?
Because, I'm a proponent of that whole how the subject matter been hijacked and weaponized against us in hip hop. That's, I've been on that for a
I'm
minute.
just loving this whole thing about the industry and the politics going back towards at each other, like just being petty. Because it's like, it really shows you how fucking corrupt the system has been for years. Years that I wasn't even born. And like, they're going way back. And I just want to see how this shit plays out for real.
That's
Because
right.
shit, if the system collapse, that's how you know.
New World Order.
Hey, yo, man, it's been dope. It's been fun. We about to get out of here, man. It's been crazy
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
man. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff that the dope kids do, man. We had a dope time, man. Yo, we are tired. It's been fun. Thanks for everybody that tuned in, everybody that's gonna tune in and do your thing, man. We got some dope stuff happening next week. We might have to have these guys come back next week and finish this conversation, boy. This one got good. All right, boys, we out of here. Peace.